tradesmen and the merchants. The merchants were increasing the prices ridiculously, which didn't help anybody. So we sided with the tradesmen, and that got it was kind of a trade-off. The merchants would provide, if we sided with them, the merchants would probably help supply the government with more money and gear,
The
but the
merchants,
tradesmen are supplying body.
the tradesmen.
Yeah, the tradesmen are supplying better more bodies. We got more volunteers, so hopefully that helps.
Okay.
There's also a
Um,
spy in town, Param of Urik.
yep, yeah, and his mug is over here, Param.
Yep.
Uh, we stopped him from lowering morale. What else do we do? So we've been trying to go and get some info on to blackmail Senator Zildine to go and supply, because he's the guy who wanted like 10 masterwork iron long swords as payment to help
Yeah.
with the war. And like the whole
That
city
was
of
a few weeks
Tyr is
ago.
worth that much, pretty much. So we're trying to blackmail him, and his butler, Handfrost, is really into that, but he wants a better position somewhere else. He wants a bribe of a better job. So Veracity of Minther, if you recall, he's the guy who sent us to torch his
Yeah,
rival's farm.
the silent.
Yep, he is willing to take on Handfrost as a new servant if we go and do that again, but bigger this time.
Okay. Do you guys have a plan?
And well, it involves you and fire magic. So we do have one now that you showed up tonight.
Okay.
And what else do we do? There was another side quest. Oh yeah, we had to find Templars. We had decided, so there was this guy Girius, who was basically this pompous idiot who wanted to take over the Templars, and promised that if he took over the Templars, he would bring all the deserters back. And he was a jackass and an idiot. So we decided to back the current head of the Templars, Sidon. And we went and we were able to find and intimidate 3 of the deserters back into rejoining the ranks. So
one of them joined without intimidation.
yeah, that is true. One of them we convinced through patriotism, and the other 2 joined once Brent casually mentioned that the amnesty was for current Templars, not former Templars.
Okay.
And the guy that was sheltering them, what's it say? Orosto the Old, he did not particularly like that angle of convincing. But it worked, so hey.
So we're making friends and enemies?
Pretty much. Frenemies are frenemies abound. Vince has got a propensity for for rubbing people the wrong way.
Orosto the Old, he's sort of a well-liked psionicist in town. Is very helpful in the poorer districts. He helps out in the Warrens, make sure everybody's okay. Very kung fu, the legend continues. He goes around solving people's problems.
Yeah,
he probably didn't like Brent. He probably didn't like Brent just for being a bounty hunter to begin with. So, you know.
Was I hanging out with him last week?
Well, yeah, you probably met him at some point.
Oh yeah, I've been involved with him in some of his stuff, street mission.
Yeah, I think 2 weeks ago you said you were doing some religious service and you were doing some street mission work with the Rosto.
Yeah, and I did give him some like we got that 7 copper piece or ceramic piece, and I give him for his cause.
Nice.
Hey, Diamond's here.
Feel like you're playing good game, Psycho Frog?
Diamond.
Hey, Diamond.
Well,
I know, God. All right, let's do this again with Diamond this time.
Yes. Apologies for not being here last time. I was too tired from work.
Yeah, we were missing Chris too.
Because I just finished explaining what we did last week to Krius. So everything I just said, here you go then. All right, let's do it again.
And just you
So
can look at the stream and just rewind it.
yeah. We Morg had an epic fight with Quick Windsor that went on forever.
And Quick Windsor won,
Yeah,
but
but it was a
barely.
close one. And so the gladiators aren't going to stay, haven't decided to stay until the war, but we did buy ourselves another day with Morg's amazing performance in
Well, Windsor
combat.
was so badly injured that he needed a day to heal up. He wasn't fully healed after one day of using all of his hit dice to rest.
Yeah. It was close. It was like Morg was 1 or 2 hits away from winning. He just couldn't hit the freaking Quick Renzer, who has an AC of 19.
Beating him to a pulp is a valid way to solve his problem of luring a bunch of your gladiators away to a stupid battle that they're going to lose.
Yeah, and the problem is they're probably not going to respect magic. So the only person that realistically has a shot at going toe to toe with him is Morg.
He's just
With
as
magic.
really, really
The
strong.
bear, I could cheat.
Quick Windsor has way more
Yeah.
experience than Morg, unfortunately.
Yeah, Morg can tank a lot of freaking damage, but he's a barbarian, so I mean that makes sense.
A barbarian with 3 constitution that can take more hits than an actual barbarian.
All the gladiators were impressed by your multiple shapeshifts, though, like turning into a giant beetle and stuff. That's pretty impressive feats for a lowly gladiator in the arenas here.
And we had
That
a
would have been frowned upon.
Druids are rare, but people love them because the planet's dying, and then we need plants to live. they make the air we breathe. Without them, we would die. So, druids are a necessary thing. And people will try to preserve them as much as they try to preserve every little plant that they find.
I think
Indeed.
druids and water clerics are like the only ones that like magic is like okay for them.
Well, psionics too. Psionics, water magic.
But that's not
druids.
magic.
It's not. Technically.
So where does ranger magic fall under that? Does it kind of fall under the druid
Yes.
umbrella?
The rangers
Okay.
pull their power from nature and the environment and the terrain, all that.
Okay, so if Brenta starts, she hasn't really been throwing around too much magic, but if she does, she's not going to draw too many eyebrows then. It sounds like.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, really, it's
That's good
only
to know.
arcane magic specifically, although really ignorant people might confuse almost any magic for arcane. Like, you might draw suspicion on yourself just by casting, a clerical spell of healing. Somebody might be like, sorcerer, kill the witch.
Okay.
It's that kind of environment.
Fair enough.
Mhm.
And then we got a bunch of political side quests, Diamond, that we made some progress on or finished outright. There was a disagreement between the merchants who were price gouging and the tradesmen. Long story short, we sided with the tradesmen, and they're going to volunteer extra soldiers to the cause.
Right, I remember
We-
this.
Yep. And then there was there was an issue with the Templar deserters, and then the 2 different leaders. There was Girius, who promised to bring all the deserters back if we backed him. We went to see him, and he's like a Kim Jong Un like clone, like this pompous, empty-headed guy who wears all his medals and is surrounded by yes men who don't dare say anything against him.
Yeah, he wouldn't talk, and he was
so-
preening as he had all of his medals on display on his chest, like hundreds of them. He's like, I've accomplished so much, but he wouldn't speak for himself.
Yeah, so he was an idiot and a jackass. So we went with the current leader, Sidon, and so that meant we had to try ourselves to round up some of these, some of these deserters, and we were able to get 3 of them back. 1 by patriotic duty, and 2 more just by intimidating the crap out of them. So that worked. We didn't make so much. Vrensa did not make a friend of Orosto the Old that day. And then the continuing line of trying to get Senator Vildine to support us. If you recall, he's the guy who wanted 10 master-crafted iron swords to support the army, which would have cost more than the actual army itself.
What a greedy bastard. It's a
So we're trying to
ridiculous.
blackmail him.
It is essentially a request that nobody would ever be able to actually come through with. Like, he expects you to fail.
Yep.
So-
Except
so
we
we're-
could probably just travel right to the iron mines, grab all the iron necessary, bring it to the
Not so
merchants.
easy. Have you heard
But
the iron mines are infested with horrible monsters?
Yeah, if you remember from our first session, we tried that after Freedom, we tried to get the council to back us on an expedition to the mines, and they wouldn't.
We tried getting the gladiators to go there to have a little fight since they're so bloodthirsty, and they didn't want it either. So,
Yeah. So with no tradesmen to actually operate the mines, and no gladiators to help us clear the mines, it's not gonna work, unfortunately.
Now, the iron mines
Ah.
are currently occupied by hedgekin. And if you don't know what a hedgekin is, they are bad news. They are very, very bad news. They have priests. They have priests and magic. And they can definitely be a problem.
So, so we're trying to go and blackmail Senator Valdine, and we have an in on that, which is his butler, Handfrost, who Senator Valdine treats like garbage. He wants a better job. So we went to Varancy of Minther, who, if you recall, is the guy who had us burn down the granary of his rival. And he says, well, if you can do that again and bigger, I'll give you the other soldiers I initially promised, as well as give this butler a job. That's not a big deal. So that's where we're at today, is another destroy the neighbor's farm quest. And if we do
I thought
that,
you
we're
had
gonna,
already previously destroyed a farm.
we did. We have to go back and do a better job.
One granary wasn't enough to cripple his business.
Do a bigger one.
Yeah. So we've got to scope out the farm and figure out a better way to more thoroughly destroy it this time. If we
I
do a
think
good
I have
job,
an idea, but it kind of goes against my own character. Not only my morals, but my character's morals as well. Let me see.
yeah.
Do I have
So-
access to that spell?
A swarm of locusts.
Mm-mm.
And so we're due for a long rest. So we can, if you want to reorganize your spells with the mission in mind, I think that's probably something we could do, Ninja.
Long rest? Sure.
So I mean, we're at the end of the night last time we finished. But
Yeah, I usually figure you sleep, and then when we pick up here, it's like the next morning.
all right.
Since we've been doing it in chunks of like a day, and then a day, and then a day. So this is the next day.
I'm taking a look here, and no, I do not have access to it because Contagion is a 5th level spell.
I watched Caster join. You have to explain it a third time.
So Minther has a lot of men, but he's only offered like 50 so far. If you do a better job, you can increase that number. You've got a bunch of gladiators, you've got a bunch of Templars, you've got some of the rebel Templars, 3 of them. And then every day there's some debate as to whether the gladiators that follow Windsor will actually leave or stay. So you can continue to do that today. And then there are other groups. There's a lot of dispossessed people that might be recruited. And Counselor Turloff, he could potentially field people. Although sort of depends on who comes out better in that situation, like the merchants or the craftsmen.
Well, we backed him already last week.
Right.
Remember, with the tradesmen?
Well, it's sort of an ongoing thing, right? Like, their continuing dispute will not just end. Like, even if you side with one over the other will, like, act against you in various ways. So,
Oh, good.
yeah.
Then why don't we pull from the neutral pool? Go out into the wastes and find some beasts to add to the army's numbers.
You want to catch some bees? You're welcome to do that. You can go right out the city gate and go explore in the wilderness anytime you want.
I'm just putting
My only
suggestions out
concern-
there.
No, I think if we had more time to prep Diamond, that's actually a pretty good idea because between me and you and possibly Morg, who's also part druid, we could probably do a pretty decent job of that. Problem is, I think training an actual beast, like in terms of like domesticating it, takes a few weeks, which we don't have.
Don't we have some psionic to control some?
Uh, I don't know if we have those type of psionic systems in town that can just like literally like
I
assume
think
direct
Well,
control.
I
I
think
mean,
some of
what
these big transport.
what I'm
That's how they control them.
what I'm getting is
It's a specialized
what
job.
I'm
So there are mechalot handlers that are psionicists that can control the mechalots who are naturally pretty aggressive creatures. So if they weren't constantly in control of the mechalot, it would run rampage and trample everybody to death. So they are very specialized and expensive to hire. But a mechalot's
Okay.
really big. That's for pulling a massive wagon. You can probably get a Crodlu or a Kank that's just rideable right out of the gate.
Yeah, but what I'm getting from the situation that we have so far is we either need bodies, or we need something aggressive enough but controllable enough to be able to send towards the enemy without it completely backfiring back into our faces.
What happened to that the thing at the gladiator pit with we had that like big dragon something thingy egg monster on the pyramid? Was that only because we had Calic, or
Yeah, that was Kalik casting an illusion.
that was
Yeah.
an illusion? I thought that was an actual like monster or summon thing we had.
No,
Oh,
the
you're talking
dragon.
about
The dragon was
Well,
100.
do you mean the
not that,
Gaj?
not that. The yeah, the Gaj.
Yeah.
The
Can
Gaj.
we like unleash that on
the Gadge is like a CR 10 or 12 monstrosity that would eat our souls.
I think the Gaj was killed in
Okay.
the arena
Yeah,
when
that one was
Kalik was like sucking the life out of everybody. I think the Gaj was killed there.
okay.
Good idea though. If you could get a Gaj, that would be formidable in a battle. Because they could take people
Yeah.
over. They could just like whoever's like the best soldier on the enemy team. Just you're working for me now. And the Gaj just sits in its shell and uses the puppet to kill all of the other guys.
I
Yeah.
think that's above our pay grade right now, though. That's my concern.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what has what's his name? Rikus have done? Like, isn't he the kind of leader of the gladiator?
Rikus is the leader of the gladiators. However, because he was like the person who killed Kalik and is like one of the main group, he's often too busy with their quests, right? So like Agus, Sadira, Rikus, and Neva. Think of them like another party of adventurers that got an earlier start and are a much higher level and are doing like this part of the quest. Well, you and your group are doing like similarly important part of the quest, but like separate and off to the side. So they're too busy to help directly, but they're also sort of the people that you report to because they're trying to like get everything done.
And we can just kill Quick, huh? And take over his place.
It was tried, or at least to defeat him in battle. He could not be beaten. He's too strong. It was a good try, though. It was very close.
What was it? Is he a barbarian as well?
Quick Wenzer is a fighter.
I have another idea. So we're essentially preparing the city for a war, correct?
Yeah, Uruk is coming. They want those iron mines.
Okay. So here's what I'm thinking. Gather a workforce, paid of course. This isn't slavery things anymore.
Mhm.
Dig a big trench around the city. You know, of course have means of getting over those trenches, but dig deep trenches around the city. And whatever is viable enough to be used, magic, any type of stone that can be sharpened enough to be made lethal, just stuff those trenches with anything that would deter anyone from trying to cross.
Sounds like an engineering task that's going to require a large workforce.
Yeah, we got some gladiator. They could stay busy at doing that type of work. We'll tell them that it's training for their endurance when they're going to be fighting the entire army on their own.
Good possible distraction.
So you have no idea how much time you have left. Everybody is scrambling to prepare for a war that they believe is inevitable. They feel as soon as Kalik died, Hanuman over in Uruk was told about it. It was reported to him pretty quickly, and he would almost assuredly send his entire army, as he declared he would, to take those iron mines. His command was, reopen the iron mines, restore trade to my city, or I will take them, and his army is on the way. That's what everybody believes.
From Eric?
From Uruk. And Uruk is many, many days away. Weeks away off to the east. In the
And it's been
Weeks as in plural?
Well, I mean, almost a week has gone by, so probably
Okay.
less than 2 weeks now.
okay.
Is there a possible way maybe we can just subvert the entire war by taking the iron mines and reopening it and then re-trading with Uruk?
I don't think Hanuman's interested in negotiating.
He just wants it for himself. He doesn't have to deal with the lich slash dragon dude.
These sorcerer kings don't tend to
okay.
ask for things. They just take what they want.
No,
Most.
because I thought that was the demand. I thought the demand was to reopen the iron mines and resume trade, or he takes it. So I thought if we did reopen trade, he would not take it.
Do you think that would really still stop him from taking over the city?
Or you could take the iron mines, and then he'll just take them from you.
Yeah, and he doesn't have to deal with Kalik anymore, so probably easier to try to take over.
So it's interesting. If he shows up and goes to the iron mines, then his forces have to fight the Hedgekin.
That's assuming he doesn't stop at our town or city first.
Yeah, he's probably headed here, and then once he conquers this town, then he would take the iron mines after that.
I have another idea as well, on top of my trench idea.
So Diamond, a large force is going to remain here, and I think if you're going to go and talk to any of the nobles about that, they'll say that those plans are already in place. They're going to fortify the city. They're going to make sure that the walls aren't climbed because there's pits full of spikes around the base of them and stuff like that. They're going to take every precaution they can, and a large force of the town stays behind, while an expeditionary force goes out to fight the army in the field. And that's what you're trying to build, is the expeditionary force.
I don't think that there would be nearly I mean, sure, there would probably be enough to make a dent, but a dent isn't going to win a war. At the current rate of which we're able to gather people for the expeditionary force, it's going to be like a fly fighting a human. The human's just going to swat the fly, and that's that.
You don't know the size of the force that's coming. So you don't know how much of an army Uruk is sending. You don't know who's at the head of the army. You don't know if it's Hanuman himself. If you have to fight a sorcerer king, you're going to have a hard time. So everybody is on edge because they don't know what's coming. They just know that you only have a limited amount of time to prepare so that when it does come, you'll be ready for it.
What kind of colored cloth can one get at the market?
Oh, any color.
Any color?
Yeah.
So even sand colored?
Yes. Sand colored is pretty common. A lot of people wear sort of camouflage clothes. It'll blend into the terrain out in the wilderness. A lot of drab browns in this world.
Do we have the proper supplies for
I'm at least
the
assuming
people that are going to be fighting?
At least assuming we have that one dude that has the Heartwood Spear, he's gonna be helping, yes.
Unfortunately, the Heartwood Spear was a halfling artifact, and it was only lent to Rikus with the understanding that he would return it immediately after it was used, and he did. That's one of the quests that kept him busy. Initially, going to get the spear kept him out of the initial part of the game, and then now he had to return it, and that kept him busy during like a big chunk of the week that you've been working on everything. And now he's coming back, but he has no spear, so unfortunate.
Rip.
Do we know if there are any nearby tribes or nomadic villages that are passing through the area?
There's a tribe of elven merchants that is nearby, but they're unlikely to side with anybody, being elves.
We don't need to. We don't need them to side with anybody. We just need to get supplies from them, right?
Sure, yeah, you could get supplies from them. I mean, they're already merchants; they're probably already trading. Now, keep in mind, Tyr has multiple merchant houses, like well-established, old, wealthy merchant houses, and trade has already been running between all of the cities and all of the little towns that are in existence in the world. So, like, if you're trying to like set up trade, all of that already exists, and you're gonna hit a wall because the merchant lords will see you as a competition. So if you're not working for them, they will act against you because you're like trying to edge in on what they see as like their territory as the merchant lords.
Okay.
So they're basically drug cartels.
Yeah, they're all cartels basically, and each one has pseudo allegiance to a different city. Sort of like one city's their home base, but then they'll have a mercantile house and a bunch of the other nearby cities to organize trade between.
Go on ahead. I'll be back briefly. Drinking food.
Sure.
We should start our own gladiator
Drinking food.
house.
Liquid
Train
lunch.
them.
G Fuel.
You're drinking food or drinking fuel?
Yes.
Yes.
Chris,
What? What's up?
what were you saying?
Oh, we should have our. We should start our own gladiator school, and have our own. Get them ready and trained, and hire gladiators for money.
Well, they already are sort of training. If you go to the gladiator arena, now that the ghost has been killed and people aren't scared to go to the arena anymore, they have set up a war camp, and all of them are sort of sparring and training for the war. Many of them are really hyped up. So you have like Quick Windsor's troop, and you have the more like loyal gladiators, and they fight with each other and do like training drills and ride chariots around. So they're practicing already, and they're using the arena as a base camp. So you probably wouldn't want to even do like a gladiator arena thing right now because there's tents that are filling the entire plaza of the arena, and they're pretty much using that entire space for training already, basically.
I think he was saying like open it up to train like more of like the public. Is that what he meant? Like having a school, like gladiator school?
So you
Well,
want to
they
try
could
to get,
have
you could try to get some of the dispossessed people, the people that haven't really found a niche yet. You could get them and draw them into be gladiators if they're brave, but you'd have to be pretty convincing because many people are self-serving and just want to not get killed. They're just trying to find a meal, so they're not likely to pick up a sword and help you out fighting Dragon King.
Well, that would be a good way to maybe keep the gladiators busy, if their job was to train, but to train other people too.
Sure.
Beat the
had-
new recruits.
Yeah, had some people to the fight. Just bodies, I guess.
All right. Well, if you want to recruit some gladiators from the common folk, you're probably going to want to go to somewhere where a lot of people congregate. Probably either like somewhere in the Elven Markets or Shadow Square, or
We need a soapbox.
let's see, what is it? There's like
We're in a desert. Do they know what soap is?
So, yeah,
People think baths still, right?
that's the thing you
Okay.
can do.
No, not in the desert. You not with water, anyways.
No, that would be a waste of water.
Correct.
Well, there's a lot of slaves, that probably doesn't have a job yet, or
I bet
You know.
there's a psionicist with prestidigitation, and he just he's like the cleaner, and somebody goes like, "Ah, I'm Dusty," and he goes, "Ooh, prestidigitation, and you're no longer Dusty." Although, you know, psionicist, so it's more like telepathy. You are no longer Dusty. One of those.
What if they just convince you that you're clean, but you didn't actually get clean?
Yeah, that's probably more likely. Using mind powers, that is probably more likely. It's like, you can't smell, or no, everything that smells like shit actually smells like roses. And then they're like, wow, what a lovely smell.
What a new and
Pretty
wonderful
much.
smell you've discovered today.
Yeah. Oh, that's got me thinking there's just like a psionicist that's just giving lemony scent to everybody. Just, lemony fresh, lemony fresh. All right. Anyway,
You have to buy your own lemon pledge, though.
so you're making plans. What do you actually do?
Well, I say we complete the mission we already got first before we start something else, but that's just my 2 cents.
Yep.
So, I mean, we kind of took up multiple though. Are we going to damage the one competitor's farm more, or are we going to, what was the other thing with the other lord we were
I'll
trying
remind you that
to-
sabotage is best done at night, and it is the early morning right now.
Okay.
Oh, fair enough.
So
We'll
we were
see.
trying. So we're trying to get that other worker a new job with a new lord, and
But
oh, wait, no,
that's
that's
part
the
of
same thing.
sabotaging.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the same mission. It's a twofer. It's a twofer mission.
Yeah. Man, what are we gonna fill our day with?
Well, we
well-
could go out there and try to see if there's people looking for work, and
I could go
enroll them.
beat Windsor more. We could do that too. We could go do the advertising thing for Gladiator School.
Diamond seemed interested in trying to do some control animals type of stuff.
That could be coordinated with the Templars too, since the Templars are kind of the guards, I guess, of the city.
Mm-hmm.
Since they don't have all their magical power, maybe they need more manpower and soldiers.
We could go and try to round up more of the deserters also.
Yep.
We probably could ask for some assistance from whoever's in charge of the Templars now, and maybe even like quick
That would be Sidon.
side on, and then we could have Gladiator like Quick Windsor and say, hey, you can help recruit. You know, show your prowess, keep him busy, but too give him a job to train the new people, and add to his force of Gladiator. I don't know. I think we could use some help though from like Rikus and some of the other people in there.
Yeah. Everybody stands about, paralyzed with indecision. Dun dun dun.
Should we go and beat up Quick Windsor some more?
Why?
Should
did-
I do that?
Why do you want to beat up Quick Windsor?
To keep him from deserting.
Yeah, and like the rest of the Gladiator force been following him.
At least half the gladiators are following Quick Windsor's lead because he's one of the most powerful gladiators. Rikus easily commands more than half, and they will follow Rikus into battle. But Quick Windsor has the rest, and if Quick Windsor is not convinced, then they will follow him into battle. They'll go off half-cocked, and they'll probably lose.
Did I get an idea from Quick Windsor that he was smart at all?
Quick Windsor is,
He seems sort of tactful in battle, like he would at least like sort of be at a distance and like try to trip me and stuff, so
Quick Windsor is all around exceptional.
okay.
Let's just
I'm
say
trying
he
to
has
devise a new
very,
battle
very
plan.
high stats, just naturally high stats. He also has psionics, wild talent, dexterity.
Oh shit.
Broken.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And he has the mobile feat, which means he can't get attacks of opportunity on him, and he has 40-foot movement. Oh, he's fast. He's really fast.
Alright, does rough terrain still affect that? Difficult terrain does not cost extra point. Aw, rip. Still.
Also, there's the meeting. Tithian's meeting with all of the counselors, the leaders of the various factions, to discuss what the latest events of the day are going to be. So if you wanted to go talk to some nobles and hear what Tithian has to say, you could go there in the morning. That only happens first thing in the morning, though, so you'd have to make that your first thing to go to if you're going to go to that. Just like sabotage probably has to be at the end, the Tithian meeting has to be at the beginning. Otherwise, you skip it.
Well, let's go to the meeting then.
Okay. You go to the
Yeah,
meeting.
let's meet them.
The meeting is incredibly tedious and boring and wastes 3 of your hours. The end.
How far is the army?
Oh, well, when Tithian asks about the army, they explain who has fielded what, and he's quite upset that some of them have not fielded much of anything. So he's also upset that many of the Templars have not reported for duty as they were told to.
I have a question, because I have an idea of something we could do. If we were asked the council, Princeton asked the council, if someone were to scout ahead and report back exactly how far away the Urukites are, would that intelligence be helpful towards the war preparations?
Tithian's going to explain that he's already hired a whole bunch of mercenaries and sent them out to do scouting. We should get
right.
we should get at least a few days warning before they arrive.
All right. I figured that was something we might have been able to do to contribute, but right.
It's a smart idea and one that they had already considered.
All right. Wow.
I have some. So how can we help the city though? Except for what we were kind of tasked to, would it be possible to get some support from the Templars and the Gladiators to maybe increase their force and at the same time their loyalty?
But how? I mean, obviously, everyone
Yeah, I
here
think
wants it.
that's yeah.
What would this this city's government be willing to offer them? Because we can help recruiting, but at the same time, we have to be able to offer them something in exchange to the people.
Well, Ninja kind of explained last week, we could pretty much kind of have a carte blanche in terms of what we do, as long as we can back it up ourselves. So the city's not promising anybody really anything other than they've already done, and they're kind of hands off. They're letting us do the recruiting for them.
Delegation of tasks.
Normally,
So,
people
yeah.
don't do anything for anything. You know, we don't even have a budget to work with.
Well, hold on. These you have to put things in context a little bit. These people have never known anything but slavery, ever. So you are in the free city of Tyr for the very first time. Everybody has at least one thing going for them, and that is that nobody is telling them what to do right now. So that has a lot of currency in this town, that freedom aspect. So like if you can appeal to people and their own self-interest, you can probably get them on your side around here, as long as you help them maintain that freedom that they've never known before.
Be a smarty and join the army.
This is like that king doesn't have much control though.
Oh, Tithian has
Yeah.
very little control. He is more a
Yeah,
figurehead
it's
than anything.
Just a matter of time. He's gonna lose a fucking city. To
And the
somebody
real
else.
power behind the throne is obviously like Rikus, Aegis, Sadira. Like they quite obviously keep Tithian in check because Tithian is pretty much just like a politician born and raised. Like he was the head of the Templars when they were ultra corrupt under Calic, and he's probably still just as corrupt, but he's
Yeah.
he's befriended all the heroes that saved the city and killed Calic, so he's sort of like coasting on their good graces.
Sounds like we're one assassination away from a new leader in this town.
Tithian is fairly powerful, though, and he does control the entire Templar force as it is. What's left of it.
Yeah.
They're still a
Okay.
force of fighters and well equipped, if nothing else.
So I think another aspect that we should take a look at is not only just gaining people for this expeditionary force, but also preparing them accordingly. Like what are some things that we could possibly give to the expeditionary force to give them a higher chance of survival?
Okay, well, better equipment, for one. So, like one way to get better equipment would be to defeat the Hedgekin at the iron mine, because then you'd have access to iron and you could make iron weapons for the army. That would help a huge amount, but that's like an exceptionally difficult task. Like, as I've described, the Hedgekins are very powerful and they have a lot of magic users, clerical and arcane, so very dangerous.
Perhaps we could cut a deal with the Hedgekin. Do this diplomatically rather than be like, hey, this whole army is going to come for your supplies. If you supply us with enough iron to be able to fend them off, we could let you still have a majority of the iron mines and,
As a home.
You want to make
Yeah,
a
as
deal
long-
with the Hedgekin?
Yeah, as long as they do business with the people of the city.
Do you
You do
speak
have a point,
Hedgekin?
though. Nope.
Does
Hedgekin's
anybody in the group
language?
speak Hedgekin?
No.
I didn't know that that was even a language. If it was, I probably would have taken it.
Nah, you've never heard of a Hedgekin? So
No.
you don't speak their language? That would make it difficult. If you had
Maybe we
telepathy,
could-
you could find a telepath that might be able to communicate with them.
We do know a couple of telepaths.
Yes, like Chichkaran.
We could have them as an interpreter in our group.
Mm-hmm.
So here's a detail about Hedgekin. Like, the people of Tyr would know a thing or two about Hedgekin. They are a formidable and dangerous race. They are very closely attuned to the earth. They have many earth priests that have earth magic. And in fact, all of them have the ability to phase through solid rock. And they're fighting in a mine, so you have to imagine they will have an amazing sort of tactical advantage just from the terrain they're in.
Right. But looking at this from a strategy standpoint, if Hamadan, or whatever his name is,
Hanuman.
or Hanuman decides to join in this fight for the iron mines. Now it is rather unlikely, but I mean, if he really wants those iron mines, I don't see any reason why he would not join the fight, which would put the Hedgekin also at a severe disadvantage, because 1,000-year sorcerer.
Of course. Oh, yeah.
He's not gonna be
Hanuman would
short on
crush
power.
them. Hanuman would crush them easily. And he's got an army, too, so...
Exactly, which is why if we can diplomatically convince them to give us the necessary iron in order to better equip ourselves, then we could make an agreement that, hey, we'll leave you alone. We just need, a supply of iron to help us, make it so that you don't get overrun by a giant army.
We have to open the trades between you and the city of Tyr. There might be actually somebody, one of the merchant tribe that wants to have access to those mines too. To at least be able to buy it from someone and resell it.
Well, obviously,
Right.
Senator Vildine wants a lot of iron. So he'd be the happiest if the iron mines reopened.
Yeah, but he would have to be like generous and give us some of his troops, to assist, or like maybe somebody to sign
I
a deal
think
with.
I think bringing a large group with us would be counterproductive to diplomatic measures because it would be like, hey, if you're not going to agree to us, we're just going to do this by force.
I mean, that's not a bad form of diplomacy.
Yes, if we had the advantage, we do not have the advantage. I mean, maybe if we were able to find a group of earth priests of dwarves, maybe to counteract their earthen priests, but we don't have the time nor the resources to be able to look for them.
So I want to let you know, like, Vildine is a really important guy. Vildine and Minther. These guys are going to have the most people that they can put out into the field. So
But building has been kind of a pain in the ass, no?
Yeah, both of them are difficult. Veracity requires a whole lot of sabotage, and you'll have to be kind of people of loose morals to go with that. And Vildine is so greedy that you'd have to be an amazing moneymaker to convince him with money, with 10 swords, which is a king's ransom. Like, even a dragon king would probably not want to pay that.
Right. So, all in favor of trying to diplomatically go to the iron mines and see if we can cut a deal at least long enough for the army not to overpower the expeditionary force and the army guarding tier.
The problem
I
is
don't
the
think
Iron Mines
diplomacy-
is like days away, is it? How far is the Iron Mines?
The iron mine's not
I'm down
super far. You could probably
okay,
get
never
to the iron mine in a day. Because if you look at the map, it's
I'm
like
down for any plan that gets us closer to the war.
literally right there. So you just-
I mean, the iron mines aren't even a day because let's see, 36 miles is an inch and a half.
that's like 6 X's.
Maybe we could go and just take a look and see what we can get done.
That's probably only a few miles away.
Yeah, it's like what's up? 1, 2,
Yeah, this is how far
Three.
away.
This
all
is
four,
this is like about
five,
3 to 4
six.
miles away. I mean,
Well,
if
no,
you're going in a straight
it's-
path.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's 6 hexes. And what's the range? 1 hex is what? Where's the key?
It should be each hex
This
is a
key's
mile.
up here. 36 is
I tried to scale it so each hex is a mile.
Each hex is a mile.
So it's like 6
So-
miles
It's only
away.
6 miles. That's like a 2-hour walk.
However, formidable enemies. Have no doubt that they will put up a big fight.
If we decide
Wh-
to go
which-
there looking for a fight.
Which merchant house used to have the contract for extracting iron?
Do we know if they're like hostile creatures? Like, do they talk?
They're not friendly. They killed all the former miners.
Yeah, I don't.
I don't see
I wouldn't
diplomacy going
recommend
forward.
it.
Well, it's
I don't-
like Ninja said, we would be appealing to their sense of
Self-preservation.
self-preservation.
I say that there's probably not any point trying to reason with them. I'm not saying don't try. I'm just saying we should try to team up with whatever merchant house used to have the contract for getting iron out of the iron mines, and say, "Hey, I'm sure you want this to be reopened so you can start doing your contract. Get us some mercenaries, and we'll kind of spearhead a clearing expedition."
Wow, I found a thing here that says that the iron mines take 2 days to get to. They must be up in the mountains.
Yeah. I was assuming it was like a kind of winding hiking path.
Yeah, it looks like it. It must be way up in a high elevation.
Well,
So it's only
if
6
we're-
miles away, but those 6 miles are straight up.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so
All rough terrain.
if
Or-
we do decide to go for the iron mines, we're gonna have to go with an all or nothing mentality.
Yeah.
I mean, keep in mind we'd also have to be like mining and producing the stuff like instantly. Like I feel like it takes time to harvest iron as well.
Yeah.
I'm
I mean,
pretty
yeah.
sure. I'm pretty sure if the merchants were to learn that we've managed to secure a supply of iron, they would set to work almost instantaneously.
But the problem is it's going to take
2
days
days
to
to
mine the
send
iron.
workers up there.
Right. 2 days to send workers up there. However many days to mine it. 2 days to send the iron back, and then it's going to take however long to refine the iron and then actually make it into stuff.
Now,
That's why I
here's
said in the beginning that unless we can initially have a expedition where we're both clearing, or I guess in this case, diplomatically uh, solving this, and also the same time that expedition is there to also mine the stuff while they're there.
There's no
Like,
point.
it's not gonna be, yeah, like we can't go there, come back, report that we cleared it or got, safe passage from the headskins to agree to mine it, and then send a force to go work on it, and then bring the stuff back. Like we have to do it same day. Like get the people there to work on it. Otherwise, we're on a tough timetable.
What other options do we have? I mean, I know we have the option
We
of
blackmail
taking care of that
Vildine.
farm.
I researched a thing. Apparently, the Templars are in control of the iron. So all of the iron that came from the iron
No.
mine flowed directly through the Templars.
So we can blow up the farm, which helps Senator Varancy, or Varancy of Minthor, and simultaneously gives us the blackmail information we need for Senator Bildine. And those are two of the big players. So if we are willing to do some dirty work, it's going to help us on two fronts. Or we can do some slower recruiting by trying to recruit people to be gladiators.
Or just
Round
do
up,
it. We can do that slower recruiting stuff by in the meantime, because we're still
Right.
waiting for nightfall.
for Nightfall. Right.
We're just trying to find productive things to do between that.
Well, I say we split our time between recruiting gladiators, finding um, uh, not draft dodgers, but
Rebels.
rebels.
While
Yeah,
you guys do that, I'll be beating
Deserters.
the shit back into Windsor.
right.
Rebel
So
deserters.
rebel deserters from then, and then maybe even helping out Counselor Turloff, see if he needs any more assistance with the tradesmen, and see if we can help him out to get more people to volunteer to join the army. And
Have we
then-
already used a resource of that secret society that what's her name's a part of?
The Veiled Alliance, Sadira.
Yes.
That's kind of how we got this job of helping with the council.
Okay. So we've already used up all of our resources there. Okay. I'll let you guys decide because I'll just go with whatever you guys decide to do. But if we're going to go and burn down a farm, I don't think my character would exactly take a part in that.
Well, I mean, we don't have to burn the crops and so forth down. We just have to go and screw up the guy's operation.
Right. But even
So-
so, my character would not really take part in that.
Ninja, where's the shop thingy? I'm gonna buy a sheep.
Okay.
You're buying a
I
sheep?
found it.
Right here.
I found it.
Are there sheep? Oh,
Are there
shield.
sheep?
I thought you said sheep. I'm like, you're buying a sheep? What?
No, I'm buying a sheep.
You know, the weird thing is the Kank is the sheep of Dark Sun, because the Kank, secretes these globules of, sweet nectar from their underbelly, so you harvest those and you can eat them on the go.
I thought they were the cows, but I guess the sheep work as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, cow, sheep, it's something that you can harvest regularly without harming.
They're the ruminants.
Yeah. I mean, sheep is more fitting because you can shear a sheep without harming it, and then the Kank doesn't mind if you take its little globules of nectar.
Isn't that just like milking a cow, though?
Yeah.
I mean, the sheep would be like getting chitin off the cank without hurting it.
Yeah. All right. Fair analogy.
Well, they must molt. They must molt.
Yeah, and a lot of stuff is made out of the chitin.
Yeah, I don't know if molted chitin is still worth anything, but maybe.
Probably.
Does shield bashing basically just take an action like attacking with a weapon?
A lot of times you do it as
takes
like a bonus action offhand attack.
Okay.
It's usually sword and board. So you hit with the sword, and then you bash with the shield, and then you react with the sword.
I would buy a Thrax bone shield. Can I copy paste this or no? Cannot copy paste.
Damn. If you go to the website, you can. Just copy the link, post it in your browser.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so you went to the meeting. You wasted several hours. It was really dull. I'd say it's probably around noon time now.
All right. Well, who wants to round up deserters or help inspire people to become gladiators? Anybody?
I'm not very persuasive, but I can guide somebody in being persuasive.
Sure.
Yeah, my character doesn't have the best charisma. If it's to attract troops, people.
Don't we have a bard? Where's Sia?
Yeah. See ya.
Yo,
You're the bard.
Hey, you want to go recruit some people? Try to see if you can inspire them to become gladiators.
gladiator?
Militia.
Don't you mean like soldiers?
Yeah, either way.
Soldiers, gladiator. Part of the Templars.
Yes, but I'm a bard that's bad at RP.
That's okay.
You get the
That's
stats.
okay.
I'll give you guidance.
So whatever bullshit you spew, it'll work. Fire. We'll just use this fire. Okay, I'm down. I'll try.
All right. But where do you go? You have to pick a location. Somewhere in the city.
The market.
Elven Market?
Yeah, market. Well, is the elven market actually like just elves?
Now think of the Elven Market as sort of just like a I'm trying to think, like a flea market, right? So
Okay.
the elves are there because the elven traders are nomadic and they come in and they set up their tents. But it's also where all of the regular shops are located as well. They're just in the outer buildings instead of the flea market area.
Is there a central area, like a central square to the Warrens?
The Warrens don't have a central square. It's a series of alleys and buildings, and
Okay.
Arosto's in there doing his thing.
Okay.
Really, if you
I was
wanted
gonna
to
say,
meet a bunch of random people, the Elven Market's probably the place everybody goes to collect their goods. All the commerce in town flows through here.
let's do that then. What do you think, Sia? You're the face.
Are we at the market?
That's why I'm asking you. Is that where you want to go? I mean, you're the charisma guy, so this is your show.
I'm a very city charisma guy though. There's a difference. What's the place there'll be a lot of people who are easily a bar, easily persuadable, and because they're drunk.
Yeah, but we don't want to. Like they're there for a party or whatever.
Yeah, we want a big crowd. That's why we were
wanna
agreeing
go
that the
where
elven
there's
market
some
is good.
traffic, and where people might be able to see us. If there's a stage, something elevated, maybe a center place, a statue, or whatever, or even if like a well. If there's a well in the city, in an area like that, that would be a good place because everybody's gonna go there.
When you arrive in the Elven Markets, there's a crowd gathered around a man on a soapbox, and the man appears to be sort of a half-elf wearing a cloak, and he's standing on the box, and he's shouting out to people in a thick accent, "Oh, what makes you think the people of Uruk are coming here? They're lying to you. The Templars are lying to you. Tithian's lying to you. They're telling you that the army of Uruk's coming so that they can keep you in bondage. They want you to believe that a threat is coming so you won't try to overthrow Tithian, who wants to rule you in the same way that Calic did. Do you want to be ruled by Calic and his lackey Tithian even after he's dead? I don't think you want that. So he's shouting, and some people in the crowd are like, "Yeah."
I'm gonna
Hear him again.
I'm gonna try to sneak. I'm gonna stealth through the crowd. I'm gonna try to grab him. So I'm gonna roll for stealth. The stealth is just +2. Oh wait, no, it's a 1. My dex isn't that good. Oh, that's a 10.
All right. So with a perfectly average stealth roll, you attempt to inconspicuously move forward in the crowd. The press of people makes it really difficult to move closer to this guy. There's a lot of people clustered in around him. Some of his more avid followers or the dispossessed that are kind of unhappy with the way things unfolded. They wound up worse off than they were when they were slaves. And some of them are pretty upset, and they're pressed in like arm to arm real close, and you're unable to get real close to him to grab him.
Damn. Okay.
But he hasn't noticed you. Does anybody else want to do anything?
This is the same guy as before. This cure him again, right? Is Brent able to recognize him as the same?
He changed cloaks, but if you
Yeah.
look at his face, he's got the same facial hair. And he's got his hood up, which is covering his ears, so it's a little hard to tell that he's a half-elf other than the angular features of his face.
Brent's
So
just gonna
he's-
go and
he's-
notify the closest Templar outpost that she recognizes the guy they're looking for, who's in the Elven market right now, stirring up some nonsense.
All right, you run to get Templars. It's going to take a few minutes for you to find the nearest Templar tower and bang on the door and convince them what's going on.
Brent's is pretty fast. She's gonna sprint the whole way.
All right, you're moving quick. Does anybody else do anything while Vrenza takes off running?
Yeah, he's standing on a kind of a milk crate. You said.
Yeah, he's like up on a big box and he's shouting to the crowd, so he's a little bit elevated over everyone else.
Does that thing seem solid?
Yeah, pretty solid. It's probably got
Pretty
stuff in
solid.
it. Big heavy box.
But if it started shaking, maybe.
Well, he might have to make some sort of dexterity save, I suppose.
Yeah. So I'll cast 2, like hidden, like around the corner, so I'm not too like I'm not noticed.
Around what corner? You're in a flea marketplace in the middle in the open.
Is there? Oh, okay.
There's a large crowd, though. I mean, you could duck behind people, but one of them might notice you casting.
Well, it has the guy. Like I ask our team to surround me, to hide me,
All
to
right.
cover me. I have my hood on as well. And then what I'll do is I'll cast 2 of my Traumaturgy real quick, one behind the other. So I'll cast Tremor underneath the crate that he is. And then when I see that he starts getting kind of that it's kind of clear that he's affected by, that he realizes it, I'll cast another one that creates just a quick, really distracting noise, like something loud just behind him to distract him and make him lose his balance with a combination of both of them.
All right. You cast your spells. Pop, pop. 1 action each. 12 seconds go by. Let's see. In the 12 seconds, first his box shakes. And so he's unbalanced a little bit. And then he's like, oh, what's going on? And he stops talking. And that's gonna make the crowd pause momentarily. And then your next one was like a loud noise, you said?
Like a loud noise coming from behind him, like behind the box where he's standing on.
All right.
Quite loud enough to distract him and maybe unbalance him with the.
Like a loud
the
pop or
box is
something. So he probably
Yeah.
turns to look at that, momentarily distracted. Well, you've disrupted the flow of his conversation, at least. Does anybody else do anything?
I want to now run up and tackle him. Can I like force my way like more physically instead of stealthily, like just
Make
start
a
shoving
strength
people?
check to part the crowd like the Red Seas.
Just,
Go, Morg, you can do it. They're just peasants.
you're just gonna full football tackle this guy.
Do I also use my my what is it, the psychic die thing, the focus die for this,
Well,
or no?
it's a strength athletics, and if your psi focus is strength, then you could also roll the d6 on that because it's a ability check.
And it adds to it. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, 20 and add a 1, 24.
All right, 24 is going to be enough. I was looking for like a 20. You managed to force the crowd to either side, and you squeeze your way through. You're at a terrible disadvantage, though, because there's so many people crowded around. But you do manage to force your way to the front.
Okay.
Can we follow him through his trail?
You're trying to
Yeah.
follow?
Yeah.
You're going to have to roll a strength save as well. Probably not as hard as him because he's plowing through in the front, but other people are trying to crowd in behind him unless you can make a decent strength save to take that spot.
We'll try.
I wanna like try to catch this guy while he's distracted and wobbling on the box or something.
Can I make that more of a dex check
No.
to see if I'm able to be flexible enough to?
Slip in.
Snip
What
my way
you can
through the
do is
crowd?
you can climb up onto somebody and run across people's heads, and that would be a dex. That would be a balance
Acrobatics.
as you're acrobatically balancing on everybody's heads and shoulders, running across the top of the crowd.
I'd have a better better roll with that, but
Although it's rough terrain, you'd move at half speed, but you would have a better chance at the roll. But there's also consequences if you fail that, because that's like a really tough thing to do.
well, I get a 6. strength,
All right.
So
So you
That's-
try to
I'm,
climb the nearest person,
I'm-
and they
no,
immediately
no,
turn
I'm
around and
trying
smack
to-
you.
I was trying to walk behind him, but I'm not gonna walk on people.
I rolled a 15 for my strength.
15. Good enough. All right. So Traxxas manages to squeeze in behind Morg and hold that spot. What's going to happen is Param sort of thinks that there's something up here. And he's going to do a thing. Let's see here.
I'll try to do something else too, since I'm not able to move.
All right, Param reaches into his cloak. He pulls out a grasshopper's hind leg. He says some magic words. He waves the grasshopper leg in the air, and then he does a jump.
I used Thaumaturge again, my last one there, to increase my voice so everybody can hear me in the crowd, and I yell, "He's a Thaumaturge! Everybody get it!"
A
No,
Is it
defiler?
a thaumaturge?
I made a Thaumaturge, but a Defiler!
Defiler
Yeah.
He's
is
a
what you're looking
Defiler! He's using magic!
I have to look up the jump calculator. Hang on.
But I do use Thaumaturgy to raise my voice so everybody can clearly hear it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's good. That's good. You might get some people in the crowd to dislike him. All right, so Param's got a strength score of 15. Without a running start, he can normally jump 7 feet. This is tripled, so he jumps 21 feet in an
shit.
amazing arcing backflip double somersault twist and lands at the back side of the crowd 20 feet away, opposite of where you guys were pressing through. And then
He's going to be taking damage from that kind of height.
well, he was only on a box, and he's jumping horizontally, but he does fail his dex save on the landing. So you're right, he does take a little bit of fall damage. He takes 5. I'll make a note of it. So he lands hard, but he immediately takes off running, hits the alleys, and that doubles his speed, and he's gone.
Damn.
All right. And I get up
Hey,
on the
Obi-Wan.
box. There's something I would wish to do.
Okay. Yeah, you and Morg were pressing your way through the crowd. You could just continue forcing your way through as the crowd is like stunned at this amazing jump that he just pulled off.
All right, yeah. So I would like to get up onto the box and I'll clear my throat and be like,
And be like,
citizens of Tyr, though I understand how this man might make you think that Uruk is not that much of a threat, but think of this: Kalik has been destroyed, and Haman now has the opportunity to seize Tyr for his own. Haman is a sorcerer. Do you really think that he would not take this opportunity to take over this city, to take over your homes?
Take over the mine.
he's spitting.
Okay. Some people in the crowd say, yeah, and other people are like, boo, we don't believe it. Tithian's a liar.
At the people who are booing me, and I will say, and what if you are wrong? What if Haman comes over that bridge in the very next few days? What will you do then? Will you just lay down like a bunch of sheep? Or will you fight for your city?
Inspiring words.
And your freedom.
Well, the people that were shouting boo are going to say, who cares? Just another slave master. Same as the old one.
But would you be willing? Would you really be able to give up the freedom that you have now, at Tithian, that Tithian has granted you, for the slavery that Haman would definitely bring?
All right. So you say a bunch of words to the crowd to try to inspire them, and the crowd begins to dissipate, disperse, go about their business, and break up. Hopefully your words were inspiring enough to sway some hearts and minds.
Hopefully.
I'll make a note.
Yes, the silver tongue of the UNT at work. But I mean, I did mean what I said.
Do you have any persuasion?
No, I do not.
Yeah, me too.
Can I give you guidance though?
Can I give you guidance?
I mean, I was thinking of specking into persuasion, but I have such a low charisma that I really didn't think that it would be worth it.
I was in the front next to him. I gave you guidance.
But
I only
I'll
have like
just-
8. I have 8 charisma. So
Does guidance give him an extra D4?
It does for skill checks.
All right. Roll it.
I really would prefer not to roll it because the roll could actually mess things up.
Hey, I could give you bardic inspiration.
1d20.
No,
Is that stacked on top of it?
Now I have a secret roll of my own for crowd reaction. I just need to know what the spell would add to it.
Do you want that bardic inspiration?
Nice.
Then
That'll work.
You want me to just roll the d4?
Yeah,
that's a 12.
it's your spell after all.
can we do a double guidance?
Ooh,
sure.
maximum 4.
Okay, so it would still remain the same, a 12.
Can we do a double guidance? Is that a possibility?
Nah, one's enough.
Wait,
Guidance
does,
does not
bardic-
stack.
does
It does
bardic
not.
inspiration work for checks or save?
It
I
would.
don't know your spell.
Bardic Inspiration would stack because it is a separate effect.
But is that for saves or checks?
I'm looking up Bardic Inspiration. Bardic Inspiration. A creature can only have one Bardic Inspiration at a time. You can use this feature. Yeah, what is this? Where's the thing that says what it does?
All right. Moments later, the Templars arrive in force. Half-giants, dwarves, and former Templars. They're all going to arrive and begin fanning out in a search effort. Many of them have wanted posters that have Param's picture on it. Bearded half-elf, Param
you
of
roll a
Uruk.
d6 for ability checks.
The posters say a reward of 10 gold coins is offered as a bounty, dead or alive, for the defeat of the Urukite spy Param.
I'll tell
Gold
some of the
coins,
guards
you
the
say.
direction.
10
tell some
gold
of-
coins.
I'll tell some of the guards the direction that we've seen him flee towards.
All right, yeah, they're gonna take off running down the alleys, but they're way slower than he is, and he gets away.
Did he hurt himself? Did he? While
Oh
he
yeah, he
landed?
took 5 damage, but it didn't slow him down.
Didn't break
Was
his
it bleed
legs.
damage? Is he leaving a blood trail?
And twist his ankle.
Could I was gonna say, could I try to track him down with Daggermaw?
If only we had an elf here who had a movement speed of 35.
Here, I'll move off the box so that Daggermaw can get a scent.
So +10 with advantage for tracking. No, is it +10 or that's perception? +8. Sorry, with advantage. So 24 for tracking.
Is there a captain of the guards in that crowd that came in? Like somebody kind of in charge of these people?
Yes.
The Templars, I should know.
Yeah, there'd be a captain among them.
I'll approach him real quick.
All right, well, hang on. So, Vrenza and Daggermaw chase down an alley. Daggermaw, sniffing at the ground, leads you on a merry chase. Param is in one of these back alleys, and he's putting on a disguise when you approach. He spots you coming, though, and then he immediately casts a spell and disappears. And then he takes off running at high speed. So you can't see him, but Daggermaw can still smell him and track him. Do you want to make another tracking roll?
Yeah.
I wish to follow Varenza. I'm like in hot pursuit with Varenza.
Well, hang on,
21.
because you said you were going to go talk to the captain. And that's going to
No,
happen
no,
too.
that wasn't me.
Oh, that wasn't.
That
me.
was-
Sorry, that was.
That was fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
More
Chris?
Oh, Ninja, can I get a stream link?
So 21.
21. That's a pretty good roll.
Yeah, I would be following too. Following Varenza.
All right, so let's see.
We've got the tools. Let's use them.
Traxxas,
I gotta tackle him.
Org, Vrenza. All right, so it's Grimorn that's talking to the guards then?
Yeah, it was real quick, but yeah.
Because you see the whole party running down an alley. Do you want to follow them or talk to the guard? You'll have to make a snap
I'll
decision.
Follow them. I'll follow them and I'll come back.
Okay,
It's nothing urgent.
Sol, are you following as well? Sia?
Yes.
Yes. All right. Sia chases after. And the whole party runs down the alley. All right. So, following Param, you're going to be led on a merry chase, and he zigzags through the alleys, and he runs off in this direction back here.
Wait, was it just him, or was he accompanied by some sort of guards?
Nope, just
Oh.
him.
It's just Pram.
All right. So he had put on a disguise, but you saw it.
does he
So
look
when
like now?
you follow, you eventually come across him, and Daggermaw will bark.
All right. Can I
Pick 'em.
quick cast Spike Growth on Param?
All right. You try to
Oh.
quick cast Spike Growth on Param, but he counterspells you.
I sent Daggermaw in for the tackle.
Can I flank him?
Daggermaw, use tackle attack.
I cast a Bane on that dude.
If your spell is 3rd level or lower, it instantly fails, Diamond.
How close is he,
Third
guys?
level.
Yeah, counterspell. He waves his hand, and your spell fizzles as it tries to
That takes a
form.
reaction. He just did one.
Yeah. So I cast a spell, and now whoever cast Bane has cast a spell.
Sorry, what reaction?
Counterspell is a reaction, so he can do it to one of the 2 spells that was just cast against him, but not both.
Well, you guys are getting ahead of me. I'm trying to do things one at a time, and you're all reacting at the same
Oh.
time. Should I put on the initiative to stop that?
Yeah, probably.
I mean, maybe that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to cast a Bane on him.
Yeah.
And Diamond was trying to cast
Spike Growth.
Spike Growth, and I was trying to go and stick Daggermaw on him.
Yeah, so let's get the initiative order up and running. Since we just rounded, I was thinking since we just rounded the corner, since we've been tracking him, we might have gotten the drop on him. But if we need the initiative up, then let's go.
Yeah. Let's do this.
All right. This first one's just a test to see if it's accurate. Is everybody's number right?
Red
Mine
four,
is.
thing
Yes, mine's.
yeah.
Which counter
That
is
looks
mine?
great.
I can't tell.
Not on there. I have to get rid of
Yep,
Caster.
mine's fine. Mine's fine.
So, where's my bag?
Yep, Norcus stayed behind.
All right. So Caster goes back in the bag, and Soul has to come out.
Is this counting as fighting?
This is
Yeah,
combat.
I think we're gonna fight.
Oh, okay.
You guys are casting an attack spell, so it's combat.
I was gonna try to do charm person.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I want to give a really quickly. I want to give a note of potential to Morg.
Actually,
what?
I might change my mind on my
Bardic is Bardic ability. Don't question it. Bardic creation. It's fancy. Just
You're-
take it.
You're giving me a item with bardic creation?
Note of potential. It's like a black floating music note that floats hovers near you.
Oh, what does that do?
It's like a bardic inspiration, but you can use it anytime you want. It works on attack rolls, saving throw. It works on pretty much everything, including attack rolls, and you can use it anytime you want.
Does it also work on ability checks?
Yes,
It's just
It's
a D6,
basically-
right?
yes.
Okay, so
It's-
it is.
It's a physical bardic inspiration. It works exactly the same, except it's
But
instead
bardic
of
inspiration
being-
doesn't work for attacks, so that's an added thing. When you swing the bardic inspiration, they say it bursts whenever you hit anything, and it does extra d6 damage.
Oh, extra damage, not an attack roll. Okay.
Another attack that'd be kind of broken.
Well,
Bardic
no, because
Inspiration works
bardic
on
inspiration
attack rolls.
works on attack rolls,
But not
just not on damage.
Ah, okay.
So this one is only different that it also works on damage.
Bardic inspiration.
the alleys.
It's called bardic. What?
Note of potential.
Okay, no.
Wait, if I'm reading this correctly, attack roll immediately after the creature rolls the bardic inspiration die to add it to an attack roll against the target. The moat thunderously shatters. The target and each creature of your choice that you can see within 5 feet of it must succeed a Constitution saving throw against your spell save DC or take thunder damage equal to the number rolled on the bardic inspiration die. That's when you roll for an attack and use it.
Oh, yeah. The note of potential is a bardic inspiration. It's not a different thing. It's not for attack damage. It is for an attack roll.
If you,
Yeah.
when you roll, it says you're constant. You can make it pop, and it does. Now that bardic inspiration die you rolled for the hit, it does thunder damage.
It's got additional. It's bardic inspiration, except it also has secondary effects.
Okay.
So if you use your bardic inspiration
It's
as an ability check, you get to re-roll your bardic inspiration dice. If you use it on an attack roll, if it hits, then you also get to do damage, thunder damage, equal to the bardic inspiration dice that you just rolled to any creature of your choice within 5 feet that fails a Constitution saving throw. And if you use it as a saving throw bonus, they also get temporary hit points equal to the number that you roll plus the charisma modifier of the bard. So basically, it works exactly the same, except it has a secondary effect.
Okay, so just to recap, so Param used jump to jump over the crowd. Then he used his background ability, street urchin, to escape through the alleys. Then, when you pursued him, you found him putting on a disguise, at which point he cast greater invisibility and disappeared. You tracked him again, following his scent trail, and at that point, Daggermaw barked. But barked at an invisible target that you cannot see. So you don't actually know where Param is. I'm just going to take him off the map, so you're not seeing him, you don't see him, you have no target. That's the first thing I want to make abundantly clear. You do not have a target, he is invisible. So at that point, Krius, what did you do? You heard a bark.
Uh, which direction
Forward.
is the
You were
dog
running
looking?
down the alley in that direction.
Straight in front of us?
Yeah. You were headed this way, and then Daggermaw barks. Or whatever sound a lizard creature makes.
I'm just going with the fact that she's a reskinned dog.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably like a hiss that's got some sort of ratcheting sound to it.
Does her bark, and she's cute when she does it.
Well, there's not that much I can do at that point there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, everybody wants to cast a spell at him, but you can't see him, so that makes things challenging.
So I'll move forward to the crowd.
No crowd. You're in an alley.
No, our crowd.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. And then I'll cast guidance on our little dog. And I say, find him! Find him for us.
As
Trace
if-
him back.
As if he needs guidance to find something.
Well, you know. Never know. He still has it.
She's a good doggy. She's a good dog.
He's, you know, a dog will be able to find things with his nose without having to see it, or you know, and he can probably hear it, possible too.
What I'm wondering is, does greater invisibility also affect thermal vision of snakes?
I think it affects all vision.
Yeah.
I think the things that wouldn't work on are things like scent, tremor sense, following foot tracks in sand, things that are non-visual. I think if it uses any part of the electromagnetic spectrum, it would probably count.
You can't see him, but you might be able to hear him or follow tracks.
Yeah, so that's what I do. I give guidance to the dog to help us find, trace him back better.
Okay. Param's going to attempt a stealth check. So, one of you, probably the dog, is going to roll a wisdom perception against that.
I do
All
have
right.
high perception.
Is the area pretty small? Like,
So
where we find him?
Daggermaw has plus 10 and advantage on perception check.
I do have pretty high perception as well. Like, can I roll
So she's got a 30
30.
perception.
All right, 30 is really good. All right, so the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to put a marker everywhere you've detected a sound or some motion on the ground, like a footprint or something. I'll put a marker down wherever that happens, and that'll be like your last point of reference for where it was. Damn.
Don't
What's a good
forget,
marker
he
for this?
there's guidance as well on your dog, so.
Yeah, but I figured plus 10 with advantage since the target is a humanoid and so is therefore a favored enemy of myself and Daggermaw. I didn't need to use the. Oh, does it count anyways? All right, I'll use
Yeah,
the
it's
D4
just
as well.
instantaneous.
Alright,
Okay, it's not like Bardic Inspiration where I.
Yeah,
No,
you
so
don't
you get-
choose
yeah,
these. It's just
You get a D4 bonus.
Okay, so it's a 33.
Boom, even better.
could narrow down our search parameters, but okay, so noise from here. Okay.
Daggermaw points straight ahead. There's a little pointy thing with her leg.
Hmm. All right. Let's see here.
I'm sure Pran is probably not too pleased with that.
pointing is rude.
He would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for Scooby Daggermaw and those meddling kids.
Are you on Daggermaw, Scooby, and Saggy?
Alright. I believe it's my turn.
Hang on. I'm doing
I don't know-
something.
I don't know
So
if he's
there
got a
was
turn.
there was a sound there, and there was also a sound over here somewhere.
Yeah.
All right. So after Param, Traxxas.
Alright, so Traxxas is gonna move forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think that's no 4, 5, 6. That gives me view over there. Good. And since Daggermaw's let us that this area over here is the last known area, Traxxas is going to hit a spike growth right there.
All right. So just like I said earlier, when you
Right.
cast the spike growth, it's counterspelled and fizzles automatically.
Right. But he
Alright.
should show up, shouldn't he?
Greater
know it's
invisibility
greater
is not broken. It's got duration. So even attacking, he could stab you in the back and he wouldn't turn visible. So,
Greater
Well, at
invisibility.
least
do you have
at least
anything
it
else?
solidifies that he's over in this area. It does solidify that. Because why would he even cast Counterspell if he knew that he wasn't getting targeted?
Counterspell is only a somatic component, and he's invisible, so there was no sound, and you couldn't see the motion. So you
No,
don't,
no, no,
you
I-
don't,
The
you wouldn't
static-
exactly even know why your spell failed,
The somatic component, by the way, is him flipping you the bird.
right?
All right. Well, that's pretty much all I can do. I moved. I made my action. I don't think I have any no, I do have bonus actions. I mean, I have Guiding Bolt. That is bonus action, I believe.
It's a full action.
I like this kind of encounter. All I have to do to win is get away, and I have all these fun spells to defeat whatever you try to do to me. Param's such a bastard. It's great. All right, after Traxxas, Psychofrog, what's Varenza doing? Lead the way. You heard a sound, or Daggermaw did.
Yeah.
A little to the left now.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, Vrenza is, as a bonus action, she's going to activate. I have to see a target, I assume, in order to use
Usually.
Hunter's Mark,
Yeah.
correct?
If it's
So
targeted,
I'm
yes.
gonna do, So I'm gonna use Ensnaring Strike, which I am the target. So my next successful weapon attack is when it goes off.
Do you have
I do
Fairy
have to
Fire?
concentrate for it. No.
Okay.
So I'm using Ensnaring Strike. So it lasts a minute for concentration, and then I'm going to, I guess, blindly shoot an arrow towards the noise. I assume that's an attack roll with disadvantage.
Yep. Disadvantage to hit.
Okay, so let's see. He's a humanoid, so I believe I get plus two damage, not to hit. All right, so longbow is +8 to hit.
Fingers crossed.
14 and 18, so 14 to hit.
All right. Roll some damage.
So
Yes.
Ensnaring Strike goes off. He needs to. So first things first. Let's do the strength. He needs to do a strength DC, or strength saving throw versus a DC of 12.
Oh, I rolled a 2. Shit.
Yes.
So he is now restrained, and will take an additional D6 of piercing damage on top of my regular weapon damage. So that is going to be a D8 plus 6 plus a D6. So let's see. D8 plus 6 plus a D6. 14 damage, and he is restrained by vines.
Can we also see the arrow where it is?
Yeah, I don't know what that's going to do in terms of he's now tangled up in vines. I don't know what that does to his invisibility at this
You see the
point.
vines over here. They only fill a 5-foot square?
It just him. Just him.
Yeah.
It
All right.
basically so I shoot the arrow, it's glowing green, it hits him, and then the arrow sprouts all these vines that wrap around him and just tie him up. And they're nice, thick, thorny vines.
I'm doing this sort of like loosey-goosey, so he could have been in any of 4 squares here, and I rolled a d4 to see if you even targeted the right square. But I did roll a 1, so that was the square he was in. And so now the vines are wrapped around an invisible person here who's restrained.
Which means that no spells with somatic components for you. Or running away. He gets to make on his turn, he gets to make an additional save, but it takes his full action to try to break 3.
Right. But in that time, Morg can more than, cast fairy fire on the vines, and he wouldn't be able to be invisible anymore.
Well, Friends got pretty darn lucky with multiple rolls, so
Oh yeah, oh
hooray
yeah.
for luck.
All right. Well, see ya. What do you do? What's your move? You're way back here. Back of the pack, behind Morg. See ya.
Oh, sorry. Oh, okay. So someone already cast vines, and what else happened to him?
He turned invisible and ran, but he got ensnared by a magic vine over here.
All right, he's still invisible, correct?
Yeah.
Would counterspell work on that?
No.
Okay. I am
Ash
going
was a
to.
level 3 still.
I know. I'm just asking, like, if I did have it, would it work? Just for future reference.
Dispel magic. That's what you'd be looking for. Is dispel magic.
What level spell is that?
3 as well.
Okay. I am going to cast. Is anyone hurt?
No.
Okay, then Dissonant Whispers.
It's more of a chase than a fight.
I'm going to cast Dissonant Whispers, cast 3, and use 3d6.
Oh, and Ninja, my apologies. I was wrong on the damage. He takes the vine damage at the start of his turn.
Oh, so not yet?
So yeah, so let's see. So the three of that damage is not so he's taking 11
Gotcha.
damage, not 3.
Okay.
What's up?
He has to make a Wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom saving throw. 20.
Natural 20?
Not a natural 20. 19 plus 1.
Oh, okay.
Dirty 20.
Plus 1? God damn it. Why couldn't he be less lucky?
No, I mean plus 2. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Well, still, that's a
21.
success.
Yeah.
All right.
He's still invisible, right?
You're shooting at the vines, basically.
I'll be right back. I gotta go take a.
Targeting the vines, which are wrapped around him, is good enough.
He's semi-visible.
I mean, you can
We're
see
pretty
his form, his shape is visible. The negative
Yeah.
space is visible. All right.
It's like when you throw a flower up in the air and there's an invisible guy in the room.
I don't know if you could even cast that, really, from where you're at. You can't really see him. I'll move you up, though. So one move would put you here. You still can't even see him from there.
Well, it failed anyways, so I guess he gets the spell slot back.
Let's just say you didn't cast a spell and you had to double move to where you could see him. So that would be like...
Right here, maybe?
he could go over here or he could go over here. Either one of those. Do you want to go left or right? See ya.
He muted himself.
Yeah. The left-hand path.
Why is everyone going AFK in the middle of the fight? All right. Anyways,
Good question.
we've got two AFK. We've got two AFKs in the. All right. Dagger Ball's next. Brenta says fetch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then she's gonna use her bonus action to dash. 1,
Double diagonal
2,
counts as
3, 4,
double.
5.
Every
Yeah,
other
so
diagonal.
she can make it up to here. She can make it to here with her dash.
Charging in.
Dagger Maw's movement speed's 30, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so she can't. Dagger Maw can't move here
1,
because that's double diagonal. So the other diagonal costs double move.
1. Hold on, let's try this. She's here. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So that's your first 30 feet.
She was right here, right?
Oh, she was here or here?
She was here.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Well, she's got 60 feet of total movement because she's doing 2.
You might just want to move through yourself since it's going to cost double anyway.
All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
So you did end up getting exactly where you planned to go anyway.
Yes.
Excellent. Excellent. All right. So Dagger Maw moves. Brenza, what do you... Well, that's your advantage one, so never mind.
That's
Morg,
yeah.
what do you do?
Oh, well, shit. I just realized. Oh, no, never mind.
No, you went...
Your
You did the
special-
right one. You did the right one. That's your other roll.
No. Brent's has got this special thing where the first round of combat she has advantage, but it only works on a target that hasn't gone yet. So since Param went before her,
Oh.
that ability wouldn't have worked.
Okay.
It's kind of like a mini. It's kind of like a halfway of what the assassin gets.
Well, since you didn't
Like they
do...
get the,
You didn't do too much on your turns anyway, so it doesn't really affect the outcome.
well, it wouldn't have worked anyways
I'm
because
gonna
Param went
cast
before
Fairy
Brenta.
Fire over, jeez, 10, 20, 30. Over here.
Fairy fire.
So he's restrained, right? So he automatically fails dex saving throws. So he
Disadvantage on dex saving throws, but not auto fail.
Oh, really? Okay. So he has to make a dexterity saving throw versus.
Oof. 5.
Okay, yeah.
5 plus is not enough.
So he is now no longer benefiting from invisible. And attacks against him have advantage.
Nice.
Sorry, what was that again?
I said he can no longer benefit from being invisible, and he
No,
attacks against
what's the spell or ability though?
Oh, Fairy Fire.
Fairy Fire does
I
that?
make a 20-foot range of light. Any creature that gets caught in it, and fails a dexterity saving throw, they are outlined in light, and he will grow a violet light color, and he emits 10 foot of dim light. He can't benefit from being invisible, and attacks against him have advantage.
Yeah, that's like a wording thing. He's still invisible. He just doesn't benefit from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Morg was saying.
I
He
know.
doesn't get to benefit from being invisible.
It's just the wording. He said he's no longer invisible, and I'm like, the hell he isn't.
Oh, sorry.
Oh.
He's a glowing like entity now, but like you don't see a person.
Yeah. So a glow wrapped in tentacles. He's obvious. That much is true, but he's still invisible technically. Okay, so yeah, there's that, and then back to the top, Chris. What does Gramorn do? Keep in mind, there's this pillar in the way, so you can't really see a target from here.
Oh, I know that. Still can move 30 feet.
How are we on capturing this guy?
He's
We're-
tangled and glowing.
Yeah, exactly. Tangled and glowing is
So
nice
what
pillar
am I-
there.
I gotta double check the distance here of what I can spend.
Searing Rays would be pretty good call right now if you have that spell, because you get 3 attacks at advantage on them.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Searing Ray level 2.
Figured you might since you're a fire cleric.
Oh no, I want to cast something else, but I'm just too far for that one.
Well, that's really
well-
helping with line of sight.
I'm gonna do an attack on him, yeah. So I'll roll. Yeah, +7.
So now you have a better view of the alleys here. Let me turn Param so he's a little more visible from this. Yeah, that looks cool. Huzzah.
I
3-dimensional.
like it.
I'm sorry, I take a shit. What did I miss?
I added some walls so it's more obvious what it looks like here. So, Krius, you moved up to here. What did you do?
I'm gonna do level 2 Scorching Ray.
Level 2 Scorching Ray. Your flames shoot out towards the vines there. Are vines destroyed by fire?
Well, these are magic vines, and they don't have a. I guess it'd be a DM's call if the vines would be destroyed by fire. There's nothing in the spell that says.
If it doesn't say it, it doesn't. It would say
Yeah,
if it did.
it does specifically say they are magical vines.
Yeah.
I'm gonna test this. Okay. Real quick.
Test roll? Sure. You should have kept that one. That was like a good attack roll.
Yeah.
Watch the next one be a 1.
Well, I gotta roll 3 of them. So the 3 next one.
Yeah, the 3 next ones will be 1s.
19 with 10 damage.
Okay.
How come 10 damage? I
Critical
thought it was
failure.
just. Wait, how does you get 10 damage by rolling a 1 and a 3?
Okay. Oh no, that's it. I gotta redo this.
I feel like you should just delete all of these scrolls and use this thing instead.
I'm just gonna roll them.
I feel like
manually
those
for
scrolls are
sakes.
sabotaging everybody in the game and are a detriment to everybody.
Well, I like this roller I've been using over here. This thing's been working great over here.
Because, like, your rollers are never accurate and it annoys and confuses everyone. So I feel like we should just delete all of these and never use them again.
Yeah, it's just with spells. It's annoying to have rollers.
But this one, what's your attack modifier? Is it +4?
+7.
+7. All right, you need a D20 +7, and that's easy to set up. I just put D20 +7, and I click this button. There it is. So all you have to do is just click, and it looks perfect. It's a D20, and it's a +7, and it's all in one thing. It's much more readable. Please, for the love of God, do this.
All right. So 18 for the first one.
Yes.
You have advantage, so roll again.
Do I?
Yeah. You have advantage on attacks.
Oh, so I gotta roll 6 time. Okay.
No. Well, so the first attack is 18 or 9, so you take the 18
Yeah.
and then roll the
He's
damage.
also restrained, so you have double advantage.
Nice.
Restrained and fairy fire.
Yeah, but I have
So
3.
that-
I have 3 rays that are, and I have to roll each one of them.
Yes.
So you roll it twice and add +1, right?
Yeah, so he's got a 19.
So you rolled an 18 and a 9. But you're getting the +1, so yeah. 19 on your first shot, which is a hit.
Yeah.
And then we need 2
second-
rolls for the next one.
8
A
or
19
18, so
again.
19 again.
Hit.
21. Oh, but I got a
22.
All
So all
right.
3 hit.
22.
Nice.
So 19, 19, 22.
Excellent.
So
So
60.
66.
Okay, so to set this up, we hit reset. We go into the little box here. We type 6d6. Then we go up to the d6 and we hit that 6 times. And then there's no mod, right?
No.
Okay,
No,
so
not too bad.
I'll pick a button for this. I'll just put it right there. And now it should be all set. You just have to click it.
19 damage.
Fuck
I'm
yeah.
pretty sure he's dead.
That's a hella
No.
shot.
The guess probably. And this could just be an illusion we're shooting on, anyways. As far as we know.
I would trust Daggermaw's judgment.
And the fact that illusions usually don't get wrapped up in physical vines.
All right.
Yeah.
Param lets out a scream from the first hit, but he doesn't die. What do you do on the next hit? How much damage?
No, that was all 3 hits.
And
Each
that
hit
was
does
all my
2d6.
hits.
Oh,
He
okay,
he
okay,
He
so
took
that's
3
total.
bolts.
So he survived all 3 shots. Whap, whap, whap. And he lets out a cry as it burns him severely. All right. Next.
So now he takes the 3 damage from the vines I rolled earlier.
Because it's his turn, right? So that puts him
Yeah.
at 33. He has to use his action to try to get out, right?
Yeah,
He rolls a 2. Fuck.
so he is still restrained, so he cannot move or cast anything that has a somatic component.
Let's see here.
If you couldn't tell, this is my anti-wizard stuff.
Well, you're a bounty
the-
hunter. I would hope so.
It also does really nasty things to things that fly, because when you're restrained, you can't fly anymore, and you drop to the ground like a stone and take falling damage.
It comes out of your bow, though, right? You need enchanted arrows for this.
No, what it is I enchant myself, and my next successful attack with a weapon, regardless of if it's a melee or ranged weapon, applies the effect. So,
Oh.
and so it's kind of strong because it's not, if I miss with my attack, the spell's not dead, as long as I can maintain concentration. So it is a concentration spell that lasts a minute.
Can I clear
But
some of
so-
these things, or do I have to
seems
overwrite?
kind of broken.
Any
Well,
of them that you don't want, you can delete. You just have to. How does it work? I think mem clear, and then you hit the button you want to delete.
Okay.
Get this spell at level
It's-
4.
Oh yeah, that works. All right, perfect. Thank you.
It's a level 1 spell, and it's ranger only, and
Okay.
the disadvantage of it is the DC tends to be really low because rangers DCs are based on wisdom, which isn't exactly a dump stat, but it's not a primary stat either for a
Like,
ranger.
usually dexterity, yeah.
Dexterity, strength, con. You want to put some points into wisdom, but usually don't have a lot of points left to put into wisdom at that point.
Sorry for the delay, but spellcasters, I have to look up every spell and see if he can cast any of them.
Right.
He
We
can
understand.
cast a spell, huzzah! But it's an action, so he can't.
Oh,
Maybe next
Yeah.
time. I found one he can cast while restrained, but he already used his action to try to not be restrained, so he's done. Traxxas.
Wait, when is my turn coming up? Just so I can know.
uh,
After
in two
Traxxas and
turns.
Vrenza.
All right, cool. Thank you.
So let's see. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I should be able to reach line of sight.
Yep.
Yeah.
Threading the needle, but sure.
So I am going to cast Guiding Bolt. That's straight damage. You can't avoid it, and I don't need to roll for it. So,
Druids can cast Guiding Bolt?
Circle of Stars druids can.
Okay.
Oh wait, I have to make
still
a
have to
ranged
roll to
spell
hit.
attack. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, what do you mean he just gets damaged?
Double
It's
advantage,
Guiding
though.
Bolt. It's
Keep in mind, you
So-
get advantage and +1.
now ranged spell attack. That would be my wisdom, my spell modifier, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So since I got skill expert, so that would make it
Typically, it's just proficiency plus your modifier for your spellcasting.
efficiency plus. Yeah. Okay. So that's 5. Okay. So
+5 to hit. 46 radiant damage on a hit. Half as much on a fail.
roll 1d20 plus 5. 8. Okay. So roll 1d20 plus 5. 10 and final 1.
Why are you rolling 3 times?
Double advantage.
Double advantage adds +1 to your regular roll of advantage.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. So
Really?
11 to hit since he is restrained. I would assume that would be hitting his flat foot.
I think there's an elven feat that lets you do a third roll, but normally you can't. Or luck. Luck will do it.
That's what Mad God was doing.
Yeah.
All
Wait,
right,
isn't that
so
option to pick the lucky feat?
Elven-
I'm-
Elven
I'm
Archer.
hitting 11 against restrained. I'm assuming that's hitting his flat foot.
No. An 11, huh?
Yeah.
Even with advantage, 11 is your best roll.
I
No,
rolled
he had a
twice. I got
15.
9 and 11.
Yeah, neither of those will hit.
Oh, wow.
That's adding the +1.
Yes.
Yeah, he rolled awful, unfortunately.
Your bolt streaks over his head and hits the wall with a flash. No damage.
All right. Well, I mean, he's restrained, so he's not going to be able to do much. I'll just
Yeah.
end my turn. Prince,
Can we coop the Graham when he's restrained?
No.
Nah, he can still fight back, technically. You have to pin him, and then he's harmless.
How to pin him?
You go over there
You need to
and
do-
you succeed on another strength athletics check.
Yeah, Daggermaw could pin him.
Yep. So if he's not dead by the time Daggermon goes around, she's gonna try to capture him like a Pokemon.
Well, what does
Yes.
Varansa do?
Vrensa is gonna do a called strike using her sharpshooter feat. So instead of
Oh, wait,
plus
wait, wait.
8,
Is it this initiative or the other one? I think you don't go into the other one now, huh?
no. So the one where it's advantage is just dead.
So you're just gonna ignore that one when you don't have advantage.
No. So I have advantage on all my initiative rolls. What I was talking about earlier is that um, I also have advantage on my first round of combat to strike a target that hasn't gone yet.
Oh, okay. So you're just
But
talking about...
Purim was ahead of me
Yeah.
in the
Okay.
advantage, so my previous attack it hit, so it didn't matter. But anyways.
Anyways.
So, but she always has advantage on initiative rolls,
Okay.
and so we just ignore the lower one.
Yeah.
So anyways, so instead of plus 8 to hit, she's going to be at plus 3 to hit, but she's got double advantage, so she's going to be at plus 4 to hit. So let's see. So if it's a d20 plus 4. Oh, here, hold on. D20 plus 4. If she hits, she gets plus 10 damage. So that's a 15.
That'll hit.
Yeah, I just want to see if I get a crit. No, so 17. So 1d8 plus 16 damage. No, yeah, 1d8 plus 16 damage.
All right. He slumps and goes unconscious.
Oh, well, good. I say, somebody stabilize him while we tie him up.
Can we
Yep.
kill him?
We knocked him out. So he will die if we don't do something about it.
Correct.
I can stabilize him. I got
We can
this.
kill him.
Restrain him first.
Restraint, yeah. I've got rope.
He's a
Francis
hard
got-
man to catch.
You restrain
Yeah.
him first, and let's heal him.
Can we do out of combat? Do we have enough actions to? Well, he's got to do 3 failed savings. So I assume we have enough time to tie him up and stabilize him before
We
he.
can do non-lethal
This is
damage.
All right.
There's enough of you with teamwork. You can get whatever done.
All
That's
right.
fine.
All right. So
Right,
Traxxas.
nope.
yeah, Traxxas and Brensa, I guess we'll go ahead while. So you stabilize them while I tie him up, and I'll use my silk rope.
Since I've got time to rest up for it, I'll use Goodberry to give him, pop it into his mouth, give him a bit of a heal.
All
so
right.
he doesn't die.
You all start glowing light purple.
We do.
All right. You caught the spy.
And, Yep. And he's gagged. He's gagged. I made sure he was gagged as well as tied.
Tie his fingers. Tie around his fingers.
Yeah. I've got 50 feet of silk rope. He is cocooned.
So what do you do with the spy now that you've got him?
We're gonna bring him to the Templars.
We
All
gotta
right.
ask
Get
him
that
some
reward.
questions.
So you drag the spy
Ask
Param
some
to the
questions
Templars.
ourselves.
So we can ask him some questions here.
Yeah, let's ask some questions ourselves first.
And let's take his stuff off of his body too, like whatever.
Yeah, let's loot him. Yeah, I like the way you think.
Make him make it.
I can make our questions easier by casting suggestion on him.
We could
Yeah.
threaten him.
Absolutely. I'll cast guidance on you.
Let's see.
it helps.
Suggestion.
Actually,
got it.
that's a spell,
Course activity. Influence creature. Hear and understand you. Creature that can be charmed or immune.
Probably gonna have disadvantage though, since we're like being
Target
super
must make
hostile.
Target must make a Wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, it it pursues, I'm pretty sure is what it's trying to say, the course of action you described to the best of its ability. The suggested course of action can continue for the entire duration. If suggested can be completed in a shorter time, the spell ends when the subject finishes what it was asked to do. So this lasts for up to 8 hours as long as I stay concentrated on it. So it has to make a wisdom saving throw against my DC of 13? Yes, 13 on my spell save DC.
Answer everything we want to know truthfully.
Yep,
Or we'll kill you.
that's pretty much what I was gonna go for. Is you will answer our questions as truthfully and without any roundabout means of
Straightforward.
answering the question.
Or we'll kill you. Make sure you add that. That's very important.
While he's doing that, I'm searching him for weapons and trying to take those away. I'm looking for like hidden weapons like daggers and things like that, like in his boots or in his sleeves or wherever he might be able to hide.
All right.
First things first, let's let Ninja make his wisdom saving throw.
For questioning, is he even conscious yet? Did you guys stabilize him? You did.
I gave him Goodberry.
You gave him Goodberry. Oh, he rolls a nat 20 on his save.
Okay. So
We should
I mean, I
probably
could-
double restrain him.
I could do it again since I have.
He is properly restrained with rope. I will stand over him with my gladiator's friend with a ready action to smack him if he tries any funny business.
All right.
Let me see. 8 spellcasting. Starting at 3rd level. Cast it. Can't do so. Okay, so I can only cast it once. So I take a long rest.
Yeah, Records of Ragnarok anime comes out tomorrow.
Any of you guys watch Walking Dead?
Nope.
Damn it.
You'll hear his Red Records of Ragnarok?
The reference won't make sense then. Never mind.
Ninja, I'm gonna cast a detect magic on him
All right.
and see what's magical.
Cool. I'm trying to generate his items right now, so give me just a second.
No worries. We have plenty of
cannot
time.
hear you, Psycho Frog. D8 plus 16 damage for the win.
I just have to clean up this item a little bit so it'll fit on a note card, and I'll be ready.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
No, we cannot hear you.
Brenta is arguing strongly to just loot him and bring him back to Templars for a bounty. This is how bounty hunting works. He's worth 10 gold. 10
Yeah,
gold.
But
Like,
nothing.
Why are
stops
we
us
giving him a
as-
chance? Why are we giving him a chance to possibly escape, talk his way out, try to cast a spell, loot him, turn him
He is
into
a sorcerer.
And
Let's
how
get him.
likely do you think that that's going to happen with him being tied up and unable to use unable to use somatic abilities?
50-50 chance.
That's not the point. The point is this is my job. I know what I'm doing. It's like
Yeah,
this is
but-
bounty hunting. You bring the guy back for the bounty.
Yeah, but you
Bounty
don't
hunting
bring him
101.
You don't bring him
I
back
think we
while he
should-
has weapons on him and he can escape.
Yeah, exactly.
No, no,
That's
no.
why
Yeah,
said
You,
we
you
would-
Yeah,
loot
let's his
him.
body.
You loot him. Then you take him back. The whole questioning thing happens later, not right here in the middle of an alley.
Okay, so you grab his stuff. This is what you find on him. When you cast Detect Magic, you'll find that his dagger and his bracers and this bag of dust are all magic.
Whoa! Let's go, magic weapon.
While his
Look at the
clothing
bag.
is not magical, it is quite nice.
Fancy racers.
I want to see that dagger.
His clothing looks low quality on the outside, but is actually quite nice clothing. It's just designed to look cheap.
So I'll tell you, there's something special about this dagger.
Got the
And
dagger.
those bracers and the dust.
whoever might be able to use that.
Wait, the
dagger.
bracers. What are
I have
bracers?
detect magic, but not right now.
And I'll grab the bracer and say these will need to be identified.
Yeah,
Now
and the
that now
dust.
that we've now that we've looted him, let's have a party vote here. All in favor of taking him right back to the Templars, say aye. Aye.
I
I grabbed the bag of dust.
I heard an
Was that
eye.
an
I heard an
eye?
eye there. Yeah, I
Was
heard
that
an
an
eye.
eye or was it an eye?
Do what you want with, but what is this dust?
What is
Grabs
this
all the
dust?
magic items.
I have a jar of dust.
And guess what's inside it?
Before, why don't we take all that stuff, put it aside before we start divvying it up, get it
Yes.
identified, and then deal with it.
We
Yes.
live in a world where magic is hated. Why would we get identified?
But right now, let's focus on the more pressing things. Getting those 10 gold pieces.
All right. You take him to the Templars, and you point at the poster on the wall and say, "That's him. We got him, right?"
Uh.
All right. Well, the Templars are going to look at him and look at the poster and correctly identify that that is him, and they'll say, "Wow, you got him. The spy is caught." So they're going to put him in a holding cell for interrogation, and then the commander is going to come down, the Templar commander. The commander of the whole army, in fact, Sidon. Sidon's going to come meet you, and he's going to say, "You have done a great service for the city this day. You have caught the most noteworthy spy. We're going to definitely grill him for information. I'm sure he knows something about the incoming Urakite army, so this is a important step in the war effort, and I can't thank you enough." And then he's going to bring out the bag of 10 gold coins, and he's going to set it down on the table.
I'll say, may I make a suggestion?
Hmm.
Once he's interrogated, I think that you should execute him in public. He's been trying to convince people that Urakite is better than the ruler that's in the city.
Well,
He's been trying to convince them that they shouldn't fight back. But wouldn't a public execution kind of prove, like, King Tithian is kind of corrupt?
that's
No,
all.
no, I think
That's pretty normal. I mean, all of the
Yeah.
sorcerer kings pretty much just execute whoever they want, whenever they want. In fact,
But what-
and he's
there was-
also a spy.
Kalik took 2 of his nobles and threw them in the arena and told everyone to just kill them. So, like, if he doesn't like somebody, he will just kill them in public for no reason.
That's called justice during those days.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, people seemingly were nodding their heads at what he was saying. If we kill him, won't there be some sort of backlash?
I have a
Probably
question for
not.
your...
Once he's out as a spy.
I have
Even
a
if we
question.
announce that he's a spy, will people believe that he's a spy? Oh,
Well,
sorry. go ahead.
you know that like even like in our history when they had public execution, it was almost like a show. People would just gather to go and take a look.
Guys,
Yeah, I know
Throw
that,
the
but I'm just thinking about
tomatoes.
the repercussions.
No, but that's just kind of like I guess the way they used to do justice. And we might be able to have him like force him to say something in public that he was actually a spy and that he was here to corrupt people.
That
Okay.
could work.
so I have a question for you guys as players. We could possibly use this situation to our advantage of possibly getting a much larger force to possibly take the iron mines.
Maybe. Oh, the 10 gold that we just gathered.
How
Well,
much would 10
instead
gold
of
be?
instead of taking the 10 gold, perhaps we could convince the commander of the army to help us out with the iron mines. I know that we'd be losing a lot of money in this, but I mean, in the long run, it might work out better for us.
Or
I
we take the 10
honestly
gold
don't
and
think-
do the convincing.
I was gonna say, I honestly don't think we have the time to do the iron mines before the army, the fight gets here. I think the iron mines is like a post-war thing that we should embark on.
Also, the
That's
Templars
my
would
two
probably have been more willing to fight a bunch of hedgekin if they still had their magic. But they don't have their magic anymore, which makes them pretty ineffective fighters instead of powerful paladins.
Do they need a
it's
sorcerer
fighters.
team to pledge their allegiance to, or what qualifies to be a sorcerer king? Just asking.
You have to have gone through one of the stages of transformation to become more of a dragon. There's multiple stages, and when you reach the final stage, you are a full-on dragon with the mind of an ancient wizard.
What's the first
So-
ritual to perform this? Dragon transformation. If you don't mind
Kalik
me
was
asking?
doing it. So Kalik was going to sacrifice all of the citizens of the entire city and all of their life force, and transfer all of that life force into a bunch of obsidian spheres, and then he was going to shapeshift into a dragon, and then consume all of those obsidian spheres to absorb all of the life essence of everybody from the entire city, to then transform to the next stage of dragon.
What about just the first stage, the Sorcerer King thing?
It's a massive ritual spell that required the construction of a ziggurat and the sacrifice of thousands upon thousands of lives.
Just for the first stage?
Yes.
Yes.
Damn.
Right. So
I'm listening.
But
So,
There's-
the captain of the guards there. Is it possible to ask him maybe if he would it be possible if you could help us recruit more soldiers through the public? We've been looking into reinforcing your troops because we have to get ready for the upcoming battles.
He's going to scoff at the idea because the peasants don't really like the Templars very much. In fact, they murdered many of the Templars, and the Templars kind of distrust
they?
and dislike the common rabble. They're a whole different class. They're like the paladins that serve directly under Kalik, and they've been brought low, and they've lost all their magic and most of their abilities, and now they're just like in a bad spot.
Okay.
Anyway, the Templars, even Sidon, he's like, you would have to get Tithian to sign off on anything that you're trying to convince me of. Like, Tithian is in command of the Templar army. We go where he says. Currently, 80% of us are going to guard the town. 20% of us are going to go out in the army and fight Uruk.
okay. So there's 10 gold pieces. That's 2 gold pieces for each of us.
Looks like, yeah.
How much would
All
two
right.
gold pieces be in Dark Sun terms?
200 ceramic pieces.
Alright, cool.
What is it in like regular D&D? That's like
200 gold pieces.
Yeah, 2 Athasian gold was 200 D&D gold pieces.
200. Okay.
Oh, I have 337 ceramics.
Gold and on Athos is like super plat.
Super plat.
More
It's
valuable than
100 to
platinum.
1. Yeah, 100 to 1 rather than 10 to 1.
It's super platinum.
Right. So what I'm thinking is perhaps we could do a little bit of, campaigning, like, hey, if you sign on with the army, we'll give you this much of a payment, but you better sign on quick, otherwise you won't be able to get this nice sign-on bonus.
That could we afford to pay that?
Well, with 10 gold pieces combined, that gives us a grand total of 1,000 ceramic pieces, if I'm correct in the math.
Yep.
But like this, I already added it onto my character sheet.
I'm pretty sure everybody wants to keep their share. I can't imagine pooling it for anything. That's
I
a
wanna
Nah,
be- I
nah.
wanna
That's a tall
be ready
order.
for a big battle. It costs
Like-
us money.
just think of how much gear you can buy with that much money.
200 ceramic pieces worth of equipment. Yeah.
Reska's willing to like pool money for like group items, but just to recruit, probably not. Like if you're saying we're making our own caravan, and so we need like a tank and a wagon and stuff like that. None of us individually have the money.
Or a flying boat.
Chip
So-
in for that.
In D&D, you can always hire hirelings. For 2 ceramic pieces a day, you can hire a first-level fighter to be like a guard of you. And if you hire enough of them, that's effectively what these merchants have. Like if you convince Vildine with the 10 swords, then he's going to field 100 guys that he's hired. that are competent fighters. Maybe higher level than first level, because he's had them for a while. They've got more
How
experience. But generally, it's just people that he's hired. So you can also, if you have enough money, you can just find some dude who was like a peasant farmer and say, hey, do you want to make 2 ceramic pieces a day? Come be my guard. And then you just equip them with some gear, and then that's an extra soldier that you can field personally. So you can do that on an individual level. You can buy guards and equip them yourself.
How much would it take to make a horde?
A lot.
Like 20?
It seems inefficient for us as players to do that, though.
The merchants
can
can do
make a
that
horde.
because they have like a constant flow of money from their businesses. So even though they're spending the 2 ceramic pieces a day for every one of their guards, they can afford it. They're not
What
losing
about
money in the long run by doing so.
right? What about going and finding the dwarven priests that fled the city?
Out into the deserts? Where did they go? It's a question. They probably went into the mountains.
Why do we want to find him, though?
They would help with the
Magic
defense.
users?
Here.
You want to identify this item?
You want to find one dude.
No. Well, I'm pretty sure there's more than just one dwarven priest, and that would add magic users to our ranks.
There were
Wait,
dozens and dozens of dwarves, and out of those dozens of dwarves, a few of them were earth clerics.
That sounds like something we could do. Track down some dwarves that fled. We could do that
We-
tomorrow.
Do we have a lead for that?
Now, you'd have
We
to
do.
investigate a bit to find out where they went.
Bring these magic items to the Veiled Alliance. They can analyze them.
I thought we were asking about the dwarves earlier before, didn't we? Like
We did.
Like for the whole arena thing.
We did. That's why we know that they would be somewhere in the mountains.
You had talked to the one dwarf who was still here, and he said that all of his brothers took off.
When did we talk to dwarves?
Yeah. So then we did have some sort of lead.
He didn't tell you any specifics because I don't think he even knew. He just
Oh,
knew that they had left the city out into the wilderness.
Well, when did we talk to dwarves? I don't remember talking. Was I
It was
here?
like
You might have.
it was right
you might have dipped
after.
out before that happened.
Yeah. It was right after we had gotten our freedom.
Oh, I wasn't there that session.
We must squeeze in another fight with Windsor.
But I think Soul has the right idea though. If we take these 3 magic items to
The
the
Veiled
Veiled
Alliance.
Alliance, they
What's the
might be
dealer
able to
name was,
identify
right?
them for us.
Yep, you do have that contact. See ya. You want to lead the way?
Alright.
You want to go to Milana and ask?
Milana? Yeah. Yes, sir. Let's go. Hey, Bart, you guys down to identify?
Milana's your
Identify these
friend in the
magic
Veiled Alliance. All right, so she does have an identify spell memorized. She can identify one of your items. Which one do you want identified?
Bag of dust. Identify the bag of dust.
That's probably cocaine. It's 100% cocaine. But what would the bag of dust be used for?
Well, she's Soul's friend, so Soul, which item do you present?
What do you guys want to get identified?
The bag of dust.
It doesn't really matter. They're all good. I mean,
Yeah,
they all have the
we have
potential
to
of
get
being
them
good
all
stuff.
in fire at some point.
Yeah.
Long?
Let's roll.
I don't know what the stuff does, so anything is like a good
Yeah.
option.
You guys want to roll for it?
1d3.
Pick-
Yeah.
Like
That was
1d6 and then like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know.
You
I
can
think
just
the
roll
bot can roll a
1d3.
D3.
Do we have a?
All right.
I don't know. I'm not metagaming. I'm just
The
it's
bot
like,
can. All right.
Just anything. We eventually need all of them identified. Hopefully.
Yeah, we're gonna need to
Dagger,
pay to get
dagger
the
will be 1. The bracelets will be 2, or whatever it's called, be 2, and the bag of dust will be 3.
All right.
3. Identify the bag of dust.
All right, back it up.
The bag
Well,
of
Dan
dust
told us
is
the
a.
bracers aren't magical.
What?
Huh?
You said that the bracers weren't magical, right? When
No, the
we
outfit.
I said the
are magical.
clothing was non-magical. The bracers are definitely magic.
Okay, never mind.
So you identify the bag of dust. It's a bag of dust of sneezing and coughing.
Ooh,
Oh.
that's good.
Cancer
That's-
powder.
That's pretty good for escaping and stuff like that.
Well, it's also
Yeah.
good for large groups of enemies.
Well, I bet
Or
he
is it
wish he
just
had a
5%?
hand free to use it.
Oh my god, that you were gonna have to do that. So, do we have a card for that that's got the effects on it?
We make one.
Where's the note card? Here.
It's
Yeah.
over here.
Let me. Don't touch it. I'm gonna unlock it. I'm gonna edit it. There you go.
All right.
Agreed.
Does she have any? I forget. Is it Melania? Uh, Milana,
Milana?
whatever. Milana. Does she know of anyone we could hire to identify these other pieces?
She knows people, but they won't do it for free. It's going to cost you 20,
Yeah, yeah.
20 CP each casting from her friend who does it as a profession.
Wait, Dark Potato and Chad has a great idea. How about we start a cult and get sacrifices? Wait, no, he was talking about for the dragon ritual. I like
All
this
right.
guy's thinking.
So I say, so that's 40 each. So that's 40 total. So that'd be
Yes.
8 CP each. If we all chip in eight ceramics, we can get the other two identified. Is everybody down with that?
8
Yeah, I
ceramics?
can do that.
Eight
Mhm.
ceramics. All right. We all chip in 8 ceramics, Ninja, and get the other two identified.
Okay. So she brings in her friend, and he identifies the bracers as bracers of defense. You have to attune them, and while wearing them, you gain +2 AC. But you cannot
That's nice.
combine them with armor.
Who here has flabby AC?
Okay.
So they are
Right.
bracers.
I do.
Bracers for a caster or rogue who doesn't wear any armor. The bracers
I-
effectively are the armor.
I have 11 AC.
So you can't wear a shield with it?
I think you can
What kind
combine
of
it with a
armor?
shield.
Okay.
It's not body armor, I think is what it is.
Right.
Basically,
Oh, all right.
it counts as studded leather armor for somebody who can't wear studded leather armor.
It's pretty neat.
And what's the dagger?
While wearing these bracers, you gain +2 bonus to AC if you're wearing no armor and using no shield. So I guess not even a shield.
Oh,
Okay.
not even a shield.
It's better than what you have then.
I have 11 AC. That's all.
Yeah.
Make it 12.
I say Traxxas with the lowest AC and as a pure caster would probably be the best for this.
I appreciate it. Let
Are you
me,
guys interested in the
The dagger. Yeah.
in the
which one?
outfit? Or
Oh,
could
you
I
want to
take
get the
it?
clothes?
The clothes gives advantage in scrub planes for. I assume it doesn't say what gives advantage for. I assume that means it's camouflage. So I assume that's a stealth in scrub planes.
Yeah, camouflage gives advantage to scrub plane. So
Right, but just as advantage, it doesn't say the what. I'm assuming the stealth.
yeah, probably still. It's cold weather as well.
Uh-oh.
I fixed it. Okay, so identified. This is a power storing Basrag Chitin dagger. It's capable of storing a psionic ability.
Oh, cool.
So
I know Casper's not here, but he's
He's a
kind of
psionic.
he's a psionic rogue
Bro, he
who
already
uses
has
daggers.
all of you have wild talent. You can put a wild talent roll into this dagger, and
Oh.
it won't affect your wild talent die. So if you use the one out of the dagger and it's 6, it doesn't decrease the thing because it's just a stored ability, and it has no effect on you. You have your own stored ability that refreshes as normal. So it's a nice way to get an extra use out of a psionic ability, but it has to be a minor one.
And it counts as a magic item +1.
And it's
Nice.
heavy and does +2 damage on top of that, so it's actually a D4 +3 with +1 to hit.
So it's a heavy finesse weapon, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
Can I take it?
I mean,
You're the bard, right?
Level 1 in fighter, multi-classing.
Well, Morg definitely is not going to be using it because, well, Morg
I don't
doesn't
need that
use puny weapons.
Vrensa is a dex fighter, so Vrensa could use it, but she's mostly doing bows, so Vrensa could pass on that.
Well, it would be a great backup weapon just in case you find yourself in close quarters.
I think heavy just means that a small creature can't use it.
Okay.
Oh, alright.
So, I mean, Vrensa would not mind it as a backup weapon, but is not going to be greedy given that, her primary weapon is her dog and her bow.
Right. Right.
So, like I said, if Vrensa's in close combat, things went horribly awry.
This dagger's
I know.
really not like the way he used it. He would backstab people with it as a rogue does, but mostly he would just hold it and cast his psionic abilities through it, just to get that extra use per day.
Is it spellcasting focus?
No, it's psionic focus, specifically for psionic powers.
So, oh, you countered a magical spell.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Is I know Castor wasn't here to contribute, but he's clearly the best choice for this particular item, if we want. But
You might
I
just
say
want to hang on to it
otherwise.
and show it to him later then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, otherwise, I mean, Soul as a what are you using as a weapon now, Soul? As a melee weapon?
Another dagger.
Wow. I mean, Soul again. He's a bard who shouldn't probably be in melee combat, but it wouldn't be a bad idea either.
That would be more for the psionic ability. Like if any one of us would use it, we're necessarily like trying to.
I would say
stab
give it to
people with
Casper, but his character isn't here, and neither is he.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
for a rogue, he could put like a dexterity psionic boost into the dagger, and
Yeah.
then when he goes to pick a lock, he can just like pull the dagger out, get the extra d6, and then pick the lock with the extra d6.
And there's
Yeah.
often there's a recharge.
I don't know. It's storage. So when he's getting ready to take a long rest, if he still had his power, he would cast the power into the dagger, storing it, and then he would take the long rest, regaining his power. But then
Yeah,
he would
yeah.
also still have the one in the dagger to use.
Use his own charge on
Yeah,
it. and
but
bang.
as a psi rogue, he also has other psionic abilities that he can
Yeah.
store in there, though.
Right. Pretty much all of
Yeah.
Caster Blaster's abilities could be stored in that. So his
Yeah,
ability to create a magic throwing dagger could be spawned from his throwing dagger to this dagger.
I
And
agree.
then he'd have an extra use of that a
Why would-
day.
Yeah.
How would that make spawn a throwing dagger from a throwing dagger in your hand?
It's like you
Psionic
go to
rest
throw the
won't be
dagger
used
and a
once for a
dagger
long
flies
rest.
out, but it doesn't leave your hand.
Right. Like he can only use those psionic daggers so many times a day. This would let him do an extra one of those a day or another one of the psionic abilities.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying. Is like this dagger is made for Castor's character.
And
So
he
you
got
guys
big
want
psionic
to give
ability.
it to Casper? Just message him. Hey, yo, you have a dagger now.
Yeah, I mean that'd be what Vance's vote would be for. Is that even though he's not here today, it's clearly to the party's advantage to give it to the person that can best utilize it.
Or you
No,
could hang
just-
on to it and sell it to him later.
Yeah, exactly. We'll just have to ask him for a gold for it. and
Yeah, let's
get a good
go.
deal out of it.
Let's hold on to it and sell it. to him.
1,300 ceramic pieces. That's a
Yeah.
very expensive dagger.
It was ninjas like
So-
not ours. We're not evil. Trust us, guys.
Are we all in agreement with Traxxas getting the bracers of defense though? Anybody
The bracelet
object to
he needs
that?
them the most. Wait, what is
Yeah,
everyone's
he does.
AC here?
I already bought a shield, so that's fine.
Brent's is at 17.
So that'll
My
get
AC is
Traxxas to
15.
13. It's decent.
I'm at 15 now.
My AC is also
Who's-
15.
Yeah, you probably don't want anybody in the party under 13 AC at this point.
Mhm.
If you can help.
Brent says at 17 right now.
Mhm. For your level, you want to
Yeah.
be in the 13 to 15 range, I think.
And with that newly acquired wealth, I mean, you could get heavy armor, light armor, medium armor. I'm
But
taking
I got a
look.
class in fighter. I can actually wear heavy armor now.
Yeah, so from what I could see, there's an Inix chitin ring mail that you could get. It's 250 CP, but I mean,
Yeah, now that you guys have some money, you might want to look at the item list and see if anything is
Yeah.
worth buying.
Wait, can I
Mhm.
talk to a member of the Veiled Alliance to see can they work on getting me a magic item if I pay them?
The Veiled Alliance, yeah, they might be able to look for magic items for you.
Right, what will be necessary to go have them look for magic item?
All right. Well, it would follow the magic item rules here on the downtime activity. So, let's see.
You'd have to pay him 100 CP just to start looking.
For
I think.
100 CP, they'll go find magic items, and I'd make a roll, and if they succeed, then they find the item you're looking for, or alternatively, you can look for a batch of random items where you'll be able to pick from them, but you still have to buy the item even if it's found. So this is just like a finder's fee that you pay up front. And to improve your chances of succeeding, you can pay up to 1,000 CP to boost your roll. Because if you fail the roll, you find nothing.
But just to send them out, that's just 100, or is it just?
Correct. It's 100 CP for the Veiled Alliance to find magic items to sell you.
Is there merchants in the city that might have
Magic is frowned upon. That's why I'm going through the Veiled Alliance.
No. Magic is frowned upon. Enchanted items are not, because they can be enchanted by things that aren't wizards.
Clerics, druids, psionists,
Oh,
Even rangers.
rangers.
Uh,
Yep.
Guys,
is there a magic item seller?
if I might make a suggestion here, I found a psionicist book which contains detect magic and identify, and it's fireproof. Might want to get that.
So, guys, I made these item lists specifically including magic items so that this
I
wouldn't
know.
happen. Like, the magic items you're looking for are on the list. There are
Okay.
not additional magic items until I add to the list, which I haven't done yet, but occasionally I do. So, currently, you're looking in the shops, and what you can find is on these lists.
Where is the list?
Is there Flame Tongue available? by
Right
any
here.
chance?
Right-
He's not
right
on the
before
table,
you-
so I'm going to link it in the Discord so he can look at it online. So,
Oh,
Right.
right.
check that out.
Right.
And you'll see it.
Cool.
Now,
We can just copy and paste that doc file.
Wait, hold on. Give me a moment. I'll be right back.
I don't need anything in specific since I already have my spell component pouch, and I've just been given the bracers of defense. So,
I was wondering about the clothing. Is there any one of you interested? Because I'd like to. I think it's just a nice little utility for having, since there's quick slots on it, and it's probably good for the cold time.
Pockets and camo, also good against cold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're not wearing armor, right?
I do have I do have leather armor.
You can wear clothing under armor.
Oh.
yeah.
Well, there you go then.
Are you guys cool with that? Can I take it?
Well, Morg would
Alright.
probably want it because he had to give up noble clothes.
Those things stack because clothing typically doesn't give you armor, and even if it did, it wouldn't stack. So if you're wearing armor over clothing, you would take your armor's bonus and not the clothing's bonus.
Yeah,
I didn't-
not unless it had like something like insightful defense. Or
But if you
something
have
like
a magic shirt that does give you armor, you could walk around as if you were unarmored and still have armor, which is kind of nice.
Hmm.
Especially on Dark Sun at noon, if you're in the desert and you're wearing armor, you get all sorts of penalties.
And that is why I refuse to wear armor.
Yeah, stuff like those bracers of defense are amazingly good armor in Dark Sun
Yeah.
because they will never give you a penalty when you're out in the desert.
Who took those? Oh yeah, that's right.
The Urk.
I'm saving up for this breastplate of comfort that looks bomb.
Yeah, those are handy when
It's
crossing
really-
the desert.
Yeah. Oh no, Brensa can't use it. She's too weak.
Mm.
Strength of 11.
I'll let you
Boo.
guys do your shopping. Be right
Anyways,
back.
yeah.
Get the
Who
cool leather
wants
outfit.
this dust of
What's that?
sneezing?
You take the
Wait, okay, I am.
Grimorn took that.
cold weather outfit. Oh,
Wait, Ninja, in your personal opinion, what would be the chance of them finding a better magic item than what is on this list?
Well, from week to week, I will add to the list. So it's based on your level, and I'm pulling randomly from my generator and just adding things in. So it's really based on you leveling up and time passing. That's what's going to add magic items to the list. That's the only way, unless you do the downtime activity that finds magic items specifically.
All right, got it.
However, everything I add to the list stays on the list, so in the future, if there's something expensive that you wanted to buy later, you'll eventually be able to afford it. So you can sort of plan ahead based on what is available.
Fire retardant nobles clothes.
Yeah, there's some cool ones. There's like a 60,000 ceramic piece of clothing in there.
Fire clerics vestments.
Dwarven Earth Priest's Outfit of Phasing. 65,842 ceramic pieces.
Jesus fucking Christ.
It literally gives you the ability to pass through walls for 60 feet per day.
Hey Ninja, you gave me those bracers that gives me like 10 charges or something like that to resist psionic reading, like mind reading.
Ah, yeah, you wouldn't be able to combine those. You could only wear one set of bracers at a time.
Yeah, but I was just wondering if you made a card for that because I just have like amp bracelers as a name.
No, I don't think I did.
Yeah, and I have to delete that scroll of charm person because I used it.
Can I do the downtime activity to have them search for a magic item?
Downtime activities take a week, so
Oh,
I think
out of
due to
priority.
time constraints, we're not going to be able to do any downtime activity right now.
Okay.
However, after the war, you're free to take as much downtime as you want.
Traxxas, are you buying me the new clothes?
You need clothing?
You've been walking around naked
You
this
owe
entire time?
him a set,
Basically
don't
my
you
old
owe him a
slave
set of
outfit.
clothes?
Yeah.
You've been going around.
Diamond specifically owes me new clothes.
Wait, what did Diamond do to owe you new clothes?
Why does he owe me new clothes? So I was put in the gladiators pit when Kalik threw in the two noblemen, and when we were beating them up, I took one of their clothing. Traxxas wanted a staff or something, and I had to trade my clothing to get it. So he owes me new clothing for the staff. Diamond, where are you?
Traveler's clothing, 2 ceramic pieces in the shop, made of green cotton, weighs 4 pounds. There's nicer
Yeah.
ones, though.
You have 2 gold now. Give me clothing. Are you smoking somewhere?
For 5 ceramic pieces, you could buy him a jester's costume, and he'd be the barbarian jester again.
I'm no longer a barbarian, though. I
Yes,
am
you
the
are.
bard.
Don't you have one
Bard-
level of barbarian?
I do, but
Yeah.
I'm a druid.
I should have gone for the
Right.
barbarian.
You're
now.
So that makes
still
him-
technically
That makes him
barbarian.
a bar bear, Ian.
Yes. It totally does.
Welcome to the internet. What do you prefer?
I need to be level 18 to turn into a whatchamacallit. What's that psionic bear?
A psionic bear?
Yeah, there's
A
a
psi
psionic
bear.
bear.
I like this arrow-resistant cloak. Cuts all
And just that
damage
all the
from
other
ranged
bears
attacks
are
in
dead.
half.
But how much is that? Like 1,000 or something, right?
Yeah, 1,375 ceramic pieces. But, oh man, it's so good against ranged attacks.
Wait, it just cuts off, including magic ones?
All ranged attacks, the cloak gives you resistance to piercing damage from ranged attacks. Each time it resists damage, it may become sundered. But it gets a save because it's a magic item. So DC 15 to ignore. And even if it does get sundered, you can repair it. And if you're worried it could get destroyed, you can take it off. So, win-win. That's a great item.
We said like 1 gold is how many ceramic total?
100.
100, okay. And item shops, when I'm in that sheet there, it says cost and then it only gives a number. Is that ceramics?
Yeah, the cost is in
Okay.
ceramic pieces in the cost column.
What is the cheapest magic item on this list?
Expensive.
Cheapest magic item on this list would probably be.
Fruit.
A tomato of climbing. 300
That's it.
pieces.
The poison peach.
I mean, honestly, at low levels, it's better to find magic items than try to buy them because we just don't have the funds to buy magic until we probably get to level 5 or 6.
I
While the
love
party is in the market district. I go find Windsor and beat him again.
I love the magic items. The lemon of invisibility. That's so great.
The lemon. Wait, that's an actual.
That's an actual thing. So all potions in Dark Sun are actually fruit. So when you buy a potion of invisibility, somebody hands you a lemon, and in order to become invisible, you have to eat the lemon.
Sour face.
I love Dark Sun.
It's so great. You can also get a pomegranate of levitation.
What if somebody just gives you like a regular ass fruit? It has no magic.
That can be the
Yeah.
best scam known to man.
Well, you can tell. You can tell because regular fruit will spoil quickly, whereas these last for an entire year.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
So
trick
how
a guy and
does
see if he has the same fruit for a whole year. Or at least for a few weeks to know that it's legit.
Yeah, if your magic fruit spoils, you know to go back to that vendor and demand your money back.
so how do like the alchemist class work in
I
a land
sort
where
of
there's no
included
potions?
I included some alchemy too, but the majority of it is fruit. So from the alchemy book, there is alchemy that's made from ingredients, and I still do include all the alchemy items, but they're probably more rare on Dark Sun because there's not a lot of forests around.
How much would it be to buy a horde of dogs?
And the fruit is more common because a lot of it is cactus stuff. There's like prickly pears and saguaros and cantaloupes. I tried to find all fruits that grow in deserts. So those
Wait,
are much
I
more
mean, that
common.
makes sense.
How much would it cost to buy a pack of dogs?
How many is in the pack?
Like 5?
I don't think you can. I don't think dogs exist.
Is there anything similar to dogs?
Yeah.
What Maritza has?
What
Yeah.
You
is
can
that
get
called?
you can get an Inix for a silver piece.
A Jakar.
You can get a
Jakar are basically
Jakar.
dogs.
Dark
Any?
Sun silver piece?
You could get an Erdlu for 10 ceramic pieces. It's a 7 foot
Erdlu's
tall,
like
200
birds,
pound bird. Yeah. It's basically an
I
ostrich.
like chocobos. Chocobo.
It's a
Wait,
chocobo
ceramic
ostrich.
piece
Yeah.
is CP, right?
10 ceramic
A,
pieces.
a war enix, that's a bird, right?
War
What is a
Annex is a riding lizard. A War Annex is basically your warhorse, but it's a lizard.
What is a war mecha?
You cannot get a Mechalot because you need to be a psionic animal handler in order to control them. So if you did want to get a Mechalot, you'd also have to hire the animal handler to drive it. They're basically just to pull carriages. Carriages, carts, big war engines, things like that.
Now, isn't Caster's character? Wait, no, that's not his character's name.
Norcus?
Not Norcus. Isn't Norcus a psionic animal handler?
No.
No.
He has psionic powers. He's not a psionic animal handler.
I think he has telepathy and he can throw psionic knives, but he doesn't have the required like specific talent. You have to train to develop that. That's one of the psionic abilities that came from 2nd edition, which isn't official in 5e, and is one of the things that people like Arosta the Old could teach you to do if you devote a bunch of your downtime to training it. Just as sort of
about
a
if I-
RP thing.
What if I use my ability Animal Affinity I get for being a half elf?
It wouldn't work with a Mechalot. So the deal with a Mechalot, it's sort of like a rhinoceros or like a bull elephant. The thing with bull elephants is like when they're in heat, they get real aggressive and they'll like charge you and attack you and stuff. So a Mechalot is a lot like that. An uncontrolled Mechalot is just a tank that will run around demolishing everything and trampling people to death. They're hyper aggressive, so you really need that psionicist to have full control over the monster. It's like a 5th level psionic ability, and it's not easy to learn.
What if I hire the Mechalot and the psionicist?
Yeah, well, that's how it's done. You have to hire both. You buy the Mechalot, you hire the driver, and then they control it, and you tell them what to do.
Can I use it during combat?
A Mechalot? I mean, the psionicist can try to steer the Mechalot in combat, but it's probably not terribly effective. They're not super fast, and most people will try to get out of the way of them.
But can they hit hard?
They hit very hard, yeah.
I like
how
this
much?
weapon. Amp Trapper's Net of Flame Burst.
Yeah, that one's fun.
That'd be cool. That's like 2,365. So what?
I think it's
23
also
gold?
a self-destroying item as well. 'Cause it's
For 23 gold?
I mean, it's a net, and it bursts itself into flames, so...
Yeah, but in the swirling, like 23 gold is a lot.
It's a very expensive, expendable item.
Yeah. If there was like a charge, that would be like really cool.
I think maybe if it doesn't destroy itself, you could repair it.
Yeah. or recharge it with like a spell or something.
Chances are it wouldn't do. I don't know. It takes like 30 damage, multiple sunders to totally break it.
Oh, I see.
What about a war crudlu?
A war Crodlu. 400 CP. They're expensive. They function like warhorse trained for battle. You can guide them with your legs, and it makes its own attacks in combat.
So it's just okay.
They're pretty good. You could ride one of those. You steer it with your legs, so you use its movement, so you get to still do your attack and bonus action, and then it also gets its attack in addition to its move. So it's a good way to get a little bit of extra action economy and usually a faster movement speed by riding one of these.
What do they look like? Oh, they like a velociraptor.
Yeah. I think one of these images has the Crodlu, right? Where's that?
I looked it up online. That's why I know.
The Mechalot, the Inyx, and the Kank are all on this board over here. But yeah, it's basically a Velociraptor.
Hmm. I might get one of those.
Yeah, they're handy if you're going to leave the city. It's good to have something to ride.
How long can they go without water?
They can't. You definitely need to pack water and food for you and your animals if you head out into the desert.
Is there an animal that can go without water for a long period of time?
I think there is.
Do we have camels?
Because I am willing to pay for one of these animals, because buying an animal seems like a great choice right now. Especially if we're going to the iron mine soon, right?
That's after the war, we said? Probably, most likely. One thing at a time.
I don't see if I made a note about the water usage. I think it's probably normal water usage for all of these creatures. But I thought there was one of them that had a modified thing. I'm not sure which one, though. I'd have to look into all the monster stats.
30 seconds. I'll be right back. My mic's going to do something.
Okay.
Maybe the
Have
Kank?
you guys,
I'm not sure.
are you guys still sorting out your shopping spree?
I'm not buying anything.
Yeah, Brento's been done for.
I was looking at a sheet that was kind of neat.
I said you owe me new clothes, Diamond.
Fine.
I do have some clothing for you though, if you want.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I have travelers. I bought that like the first day when we got out of the. And
Are
there's
they fancy?
It's nothing fancy, but you won't look naked, and then you have a cloak to cover your head.
He wants fancy, and I do owe him. So, how much would a set of noble clothes be, Ninja?
Noble clothes, 300.
Jesus Christ. I don't have the money alone to get something like that.
Okay.
A barbarian that wants noble clothing.
I mostly just want to hold Diamond up to it.
Oh, we'll get there eventually.
I'll put a phone in. I give you the clothing that I have for now, so you're not naked.
I'm
And then
looking
I'll
here at
push-
Karu. Karu is basically a cow. It's a herd animal. It provides milk. A thirsty animal or adventurer can drink the fluid sac behind the Karu's head, which contains 3 to 9 pints of tepid water that tastes flat but can keep a thirsty adventurer alive.
And I'll give you 80 of my ceramic pieces.
You're giving it to me?
No, for the funds for clothing, so you can buy whatever you want. And I give you my clothing that I have, like the old stuff that I'm not wearing, which is still pretty much like 2 days old.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you for the welcome.
Erdlu lay eggs. Consuming one of the Erdlu
Ooh.
eggs is a substitute for 1 gallon of water.
What do Erdlus? Are they good in combat?
Ostrich. Think ostrich. If you consume the entire ostrich egg, it's equal to 1 gallon of water.
Are they good in combat?
Not great.
Look up the stats.
So just keep it like a chicken and you eat their children.
Yeah,
And they're not
basically.
fertilized.
What is the animal that Varenza has?
Jakar.
Is that like exotic or something? I don't see it on this list.
No, Jakar are like you have to buy them from a breeder if you want them trained. They're basically like war or bloodhounds.
So they're dogs.
They're kind of like dogs, but they're
Yeah.
more lizard-like. They are a pack animal. They hunt in big packs, and there's like, yeah, what was it? No, I'm thinking of the other one. There's another one that's like it. Never mind.
But they have the same ecological niche as like wild dogs and wolves.
Basically, yeah. I was thinking of the Bosrog for a second. There's a bigger Bosrog, but not a bigger Jakar. All right, guys. Do you
Oh,
still
yeah.
want to go to the Gladiator Arena and try to talk Quick Windsor out of screwing everything up?
Yes.
You mean eating?
you guys wanna do that?
All right.
All
So
right.
who all goes to the arena then?
Everyone.
Well, I will.
Everyone.
All right. I'm still looking at animals to buy, so I'm sorry, but I probably won't be there. I'm getting a new car.
Right now?
I'm pretty much enough to go do it. Yeah.
He's buying himself a pet. So that when we
car.
eventually leave the city.
A rideable
Oh,
animal?
I thought you
Or
meant
is
like
it
in
Jakar?
real life. You're gonna go off to a fucking car dealership and buy a car, or like buy a
He's gonna go
car
buy
from
the
someone's
car,
house.
not a Jakar. All right. So you arrive. Quick Wenzer, still nursing his wounds from the previous day. No, actually, he would have healed tonight, so he would have gotten rid of that damage. He's no longer injured.
Tonight. It's already nighttime.
Well, it was past noon. You went and did all this stuff here. That took several more hours. It's probably 4 p.m. now. So, it's really bad weather today. A haboob rolls in. Whoosh.
Boo.
So when you get to the arena, none of the gladiators is too keen on leaving the city during a haboob.
What's
Oh,
a haboob?
good. I don't have to fight you again.
What is a haboob?
Dust storm.
A dust. Yeah, dust storm.
Haboob.
I just like to say
Dust hurricane.
haboob. It's a great word. Haboob.
The innings in the kank look the most not appetizing, endorsing.
Kanks are pretty good, and they
It's
produce
like a big ant.
the kank honey that you can eat.
I can turn into one. If they die, they produce paralyzing odors.
Hey, Long, if you turn into a kank, do you produce kank globs that other people can eat?
I assume so. Like I have all the physical attributes of a king, other than like my mind.
So if you're feeling
Still.
benevolent and your party's starving, you can just be like, eat of my kank juices and transform.
Oh, these are giant spiders. Oh my god, no!
They're not spiders. They're like ants.
They're more like beetles. It's a
They
big
even
beetle.
have like soldier kinks and like worker kinks. They're like ants.
I think
You get
it's
working ants,
more of a
soldier ants.
more of a giant dung beetle that you can ride.
What are those little bug creature braces that are playable? The aren't they like ants?
The thrycreen? They are more
Right.
like praying mantises.
Mantis, yeah.
Mantis men.
Yeah, they look like ants to me. They got little pincers, 6 legs,
Yeah. I think
three segmented bodies.
Hero Forge makes them more ant-like, whereas the old art made them more mantis-like.
And
Their
the
antlers
Mechalot.
are like on the sides of their head instead of like on top though.
Yeah.
And the Mechalot are the giant, like rhinoceros-looking creature that you have to control.
Mechalot is closer in resemblance to an Ankylosaurus.
Giants.
Mechalot.
Okay, so what do we do at the Coliseum? wants to talk to this fool?
Well, the environment kind of already did it for us, so they're not leaving.
Oh, they look like they look like beetles.
Um, I mean, we're kind of stuck in the arena too. I don't think we're like, you want to leave in the dust storm and go back to our inn or something. In the dust storm,
Not really.
in the haboob.
We can send him on his own,
Wouldn't
See
be the
see
first
how
time.
far it goes.
In the haboob.
Yeah, if
You want to
he's
send?
able,
Do you
if
agree?
he can fight an army on his own, he can probably fight a sandstorm.
Wouldn't be the first time Traxxas has had to go through a sandstorm.
During a haboob?
You wanna convince Quick Wenzer to go out in a haboob?
Yeah, and tells us what he finds over there.
It's not his
Alright.
first haboob, guys.
We should
Do
tell
it.
him. We should tell him that we have a secret mission for him, and it's for him to go and find the army and tell us where
All
they
right,
are.
do it.
Jesus Christ, how large are
Roll a persuasion.
how large are mechalots? They are 6-ton lizards. Ooh.
Mechalots are big. They're very big.
6 tons is 3 elephants.
I mean, they can be more dense. They don't have to be large.
Okay, but they have any combat action?
They can trample things.
Is there a stat block for one ninja? Can I see it?
Here, look at my stream for a second.
That's how big it is.
That's what a mechalot looks like next to you.
Ah,
It's pretty big.
pretty big. You know, still smaller than me, but it's pretty large.
And effectively, they pull giant wagons. So if you look at the board here, there's a picture. I don't really like this picture of the mechalot though. I think it looks kind of stupid in this picture.
It's actually kind of hard to go and look at it like.
Do you know they have combat actions?
Oh yeah, they're fucking strong.
Yeah, it looks kind of clueless because of the eyes there.
It looks kind of dumb.
Like, "Huh?
It has lizard eyes like on the side of its head.
Yeah.
Looking out sideways.
What's going on?
But their head, like other than the eye, sort of looks like a triceratops. It's got the beak. And
It's
stuff.
it's a horned triceratops, like a goat triceratops.
Goat lizard triceratops.
Yeah, it's a mountain goat triceratops giant creature.
Are you actually buying an animal right now?
All
Yeah,
right.
I'm going to. Yeah, thank you.
I'm looking at a stat block from Mechalot. It's a CR12 creature with 200 hit points.
Nice.
Okay.
It's got 33 strength and 25 con.
Damn.
Any-
I wish you could
any
get into
attacks?
that.
Mm.
Or you're just incapable of attacking.
You just sit on somebody. What do you mean? You just put down. You just drop 6 tons of weight on somebody.
Swallow Whole, 1d6 acid damage, trample 1d8 plus 10, DC 25. They don't have to make an attack roll. They just move over you and you have to dodge. If you fail, you take a bunch of damage.
And final question: what's their movement speed?
Think demon baby goats from Overlord stomping on people.
30 feet. Normal.
Ah, same as whatever. And they can make a dash action, right?
Yeah.
Is that the one where I need to get a rider detainment?
Yeah.
How much would the rider cost?
A lot. They're a specialist. Most of them would be in the service of one of the merchant houses. So you'd have to beat whatever they're already making at the merchant house to convince them to work for you instead.
And how much is that?
You don't know, because you're not there.
Oh. Can I go ask?
All right.
We're at the Coliseum. In
I-
a haboob.
I didn't go to the Coliseum.
All
I
right.
said I didn't go because I was looking for an animal to buy.
So instead of going to the
you're out in a
Coliseum,
haboob now.
you went to the market.
During the haboob. Yeah, I'm sorry, that word, I can never get used to it.
Okay. So at the Elven Market in a dust storm, everybody's bundled up, but you're in the city, and so the buildings block some of the sandstorm. You look for an animal tender. They're gonna tell you to head towards the gate. That's where most of the animals and animal keepers are.
Ah, yes. Okay, towards the gate.
Yeah. these are
When you
some
get there,
dedicated-
because of the haboob, they've
Just-
shut down operations and gone home for the day.
30 minutes.
So you found the spot, but they're not here today. You might try again tomorrow.
How long does the haboob last?
The
Will this affect
haboob.
our nighttime operation?
I mean, I could use Druidcraft to see.
It lasts
if
until
it'll
1
light
a.m.
Okay.
1 a.m. at night.
Okay. Do we want to go in the middle of the night at 1 a.m. to go do sabotaging stuff?
Yeah, we could actually use part of the like when the storm is settling down to be a little bit more camouflage too.
Okay.
You'll certainly avoid notice if you're moving around in a sandstorm, but it'll be really hard to see. So how are you going to find it?
Night vision.
Doesn't help in a sandstorm.
It's
Um,
it's not.
I believe
It's
Druidcraft
just
allows
obscurity.
me to figure out direction. Like I always know
Does it?
which way is north.
All right. Well, Traxxas can help you out then. Traxxas will lead you to the farm. Were you there last time it was sabotaged?
He
I was there.
was.
Yeah.
He
Everyone
was
was there,
not-
weren't we?
He left the party before we went and did that.
Oh yeah, he had to go.
Traxxas doesn't know where the farm is.
Yeah. No, never mind. Druidcraft doesn't allow me to do.
Yeah, I was like, that's an effective druid. I'm a druid. Don't do that.
Yeah.
So we gotta burn down another farm, huh?
So we just wait until the dust settles more, so we know where we're going.
Well, burning the granary was sort of your idea. But the goal is to disrupt the business. Destroying the grain is one good way to do it. He does have other grain silos. But something else might damage his business more.
Mhm.
That's sort of for you to figure out.
What about transportation?
So
You can't
he's a farmer, and they transport the grain from the farms outside the city in through the gate, and into the Elven Market District along this main road.
Well, everyone kind of uses it, though. I'm assuming that the other noble also uses it.
Yeah, most likely.
So destroying it would disrupt his business too, not just his competitors. So that's not a good thing. I mean, does he have like his own like wagons we could destroy, or?
Well, when you attack the granary, it was outside a farm. You could attack the farm
Okay.
itself. There's the farm building, there's the fields, and then there's the other granary.
Where does his worker stay?
The workers would live in the city.
Okay.
I hope you're not suggesting we kill the workers.
Some of the workers are renters that live on the farm outside the city. And he's got other employees that work inside the city at various buildings.
It's just an electrical problem in their house.
They have electricity. What?
You were instructed to make it look like an accident, so they don't want it to be traced back to the Minther family in any way.
I mean, I do have an idea. We could try buying the farm.
You can't afford it, I'm pretty sure.
I was about to say, how much money do you have again? You can't buy me clothes. You think you can buy an entire plot of land or business?
Yeah, think of these as medieval land barons, and they own a huge patch of farmland, and then the peasants, they work for the farmer and live on his land, tending to the land. Many of them are somewhat unhappy. They used to be slaves, and now they're effectively still doing what they were doing when they were slaves. It's just now they are paid a pittance.
It's indentured servitude.
Basically, yeah. In order to live on the land, they are paying a rent, and then they're also paid a tiny stipend so that they can afford to go into the city and buy stuff. But basically, they are indentured servants.
I mean, if you want, we could maybe stir up some unhappy workers on their farm.
Maybe we could do some scouting, see where that Uruk army might be at and how far away from the city they are.
Nah, that's handled. People are doing that. The scouts left days and days ago.
But if not, I mean, we could always just burn down another silo.
That's
We
correct.
have passed without a
Fine.
trace again.
There is another silo you could blow up. The first one was fairly easy, however, after the last incident, it's probably more guarded than it was.
How do we sabotage a goddamn farm?
Burn the crops, make the soil unusable.
Salt,
think
spread
we-
salt
I
around the
think-
crops.
I think unusable soil would probably be the worst thing to happen to this world.
Salted
Yeah, I wouldn't want
fields.
to do that.
I mean, if you had a wizard, you could very easily destroy the crops simply by casting some spells.
Well, I can cast some spells. I just don't know.
No, arcane spells.
I feel like I'm being called out here.
Arcane defiler spells is what I'm talking about.
Oh,
Do you
We know a
have
guy.
defiler spells?
We
I
we
can
know
do
a
it
guy.
anyway.
Technically, a fire mage could burn the farm too. I mean, that's how you dealt with it
Yeah,
last
that
time.
that makes more sense. Yeah.
That would
That's
get you in
fine.
less trouble.
last
I
time I
can-
did cast burn down that thing.
Although, in a world where everybody's starving, burning the fields is probably comparable to being a defiler. So like, people would hate you for the same reasons.
But
If
they
they
what
knew
what
it
if they
was
didn't
us.
know he did it?
Right.
Yeah.
Don't get caught.
Come on, Cyrus.
That's
Do
why
it,
this
but
is a
don't-
risky endeavor.
We'll have to pass without a trace, James.
Yeah, I do.
Well, it doesn't bother my character so much because I know it's gonna regrow.
Plus, the ashes might make a nice fertilizer for the
Yeah.
long run.
And decoration. It's
What
plant
do you mean
smell.
decoration?
Plant smell.
It's
Plant
another,
smell.
It's another donation to my god there.
The great god of
Everything must burn.
The ever living flame.
All right. So for up to an hour, you get plus 10 on stealth checks. That's pretty handy. Remember, if the party sneaks up to the farm, it's a group stealth check. So whoever has the lowest roll, that's going to be your party roll.
I think I will kind of dip out of this one. If the rest of the party wants to do it, more
You're-
on that.
Not confident in your
Hey,
stealthy
Bardic.
skills? All right. If you're not
I'm not-
confident,
It's not just that. It's it's my own set of morals. Like, I'm not going to be against them doing it because I mean
sure.
it is for the good of the city. However, I am a druid. I kind of have my own set of morals when it comes to like
Yeah.
destroying.
As far as alignment and morality goes, this is an evil act that you're performing for an evil man that is evil and will harm the city.
For a good purpose, to save the city from,
semantics.
If I buy a Mechalot, will we need something that can carry 4,000 pounds?
necessary
No,
evil
not
tracks.
I mean, if you had one, it
necessary
would carry all of your
evil.
water for a travel in the desert. That's usually how people do it. They put a ton of water onto a mechalot and they haul ass into the desert.
But you don't
Doesn't
need a
look
ton of
like
water for a
electrical.
Mechalot.
Like I said, I am not going to stop you guys from doing this. I'm just not going to be a part of it.
I'm trying
That's
to
all I'm
encourage
saying.
you to be a part of it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no.
Necessary evil.
Then what? Do you have any other suggestion on how to maybe sabotage this market? If
Well,
it's
Steal the
not
food.
gonna be-
Each person that doesn't go is like one less roll that can screw you over. So
Want to cast Bardic Inspiration on this roll.
one
No,
person
no.
sneaking in has the best shot. Multiple
cast myself a
people
guidance.
sneaking in will have a higher chance of getting caught.
How good is everyone's stealth?
So,
So-
you're just
Not
going in
good, I
by
can
yourself
tell
and
you.
setting it on fire?
No,
No.
that's your plan.
Now, did you
I'll give
leave?
it assist.
Did you leave during the haboob or right after it? It sounded like you
Right.
went right after it, so that you wouldn't be blinded.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
kind of towards the end. So
So you wait
we
until the
can see
haboob
where we're
ends,
going,
and
but-
then you head out in
yeah.
the dark. In the dark of night.
Sorry, it was making you sorry. We just got kind of lost in the boob. I mean the haboob.
All right. Who's
So
making
we're
the
gonna need
rolls?
stealth check.
Who's making the
All right.
rolls? Who's going?
Franco's
Can I
gonna
add
make the
bardic
roll.
inspiration? I can only give bardic inspiration to
You
one
want your
person,
fire
right?
guy, so Grimorn's got to go. Vrentz is going?
Okay.
So
I can do
Franco's
guidance on
going.
myself for this. Huh?
Are you
I'm
bringing
gonna
Dagger
use
Maw?
the.
I mean, I have guidance and produce flame, but I don't know if that's as good as Grimorn.
I'll cast
Yeah,
bardic
she'll
guidance
bring
on myself.
Dagger Maw. Franco's gonna use her side ice. So Franco's adding +5.
Do I get the advantage for this with the camouflage from this clothing?
No.
Are we in Scrubland?
You are not in Scrublands now.
So 11
Well, hang on. Let me double check real quick.
plus 21.
Yeah, I can check.
We have
Tier.
+10 as an additional modifier.
All right. Tier has roads that allow merchant caravans to make a time between the forts. Verdant belts around here are the farmlands with some fallow scrublands beyond that. So if you go out further beyond the farms, that's where you hit scrublands. That's what
So-
it is, right? Scrublands on your cloak or your clothing?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Brensa is the knight. She got a total score of
Scrub
38
All right.
still.
So I need more rolls. Who else has a roll?
She's
Oh,
not
wait,
bringing
wait.
the dog. She is not bringing the dog.
So that's a D20 plus my stealth modifier plus 10.
Plus
right?
10, yeah.
My stealth modifier.
Looks like 26 is your lowest now.
Yeah, 26 is mine. Yeah.
20 plus 14.
I rolled what is it? A +2 and from guidance, and then +10.
Can I use bardic inspiration to myself?
On this, no. It takes too long.
I also got 26.
Okay.
21.
21. Yeah, bringing down the average. All right. You are the noisiest, but you're still stealthy enough that the guards do not hear you sneak up on the farm. So you sneak up to the edge of the field. From where you're at, you can see the farmstead. There are some guards patrolling, but they seem unhappy about having to be out in the haboob. Even though the haboob has ended, they're still kind of sandy and dusty and bundled up to block out the sand with sandstorm masks, stuff like that. They're wandering around, and in between patrols, when the guards are not nearby, you're able to get close enough to be within range. You're on, Creus.
I'll cast a spell.
Wouldn't that be loud?
Burn, baby, burn.
So as I said, there are 3 possible targets. There's Grain Silo 2, there's the fields of wheat, or the farmstead itself. What are you targeting?
Well, what if we did the farmstead?
Gonna burn down the farmstead with the people inside? That's a plan. Like I said, this is an evil act.
How evil would it be to burn down the entire farmstead with the people still in it?
If you burn the farm, that's
Celsius.
the most evil. If you
Uh,
blow up
yeah.
the silo, that's the least evil.
What will we get for burning down the farm versus everything else?
Who knows? You don't know
Evil.
until you
Yeah.
make a choice.
Here's the question
Gotta
that you
be,
have to ask
the house
yourself.
has got to be less evil than the actual fields, though.
Can you bring yourself to kill an innocent?
Yes.
My character doesn't
If
have
it
all
will
that.
save many. Yeah.
Take your shot. What do you aim at?
1 second.
This people on a trolley conundrum.
You know there are people in the house, so if you set it on fire, they might die. There's nobody near the grain silo. If you blow it up, nobody will die. However, people will starve. If you burn the fields, that's really bad.
Or in the barn. The company fails. The business dies. Agree.
I told the group, would it be possible for you, some of you, to go and stealth closer to the farmstead and make a distraction, but from the opposite side, so people are alerted, but the building burned down.
I could cast the sky self and then make myself a guard and yell, "Intruder! Intruder has been..."
If the guards become alerted, it will be a big complication.
But not with the party here. I'm talking about on the other side of the farmstead. Like he.
If they could get alerted before they start burning alive, you know. That's what I would like to try to avoid.
Anyone have any other distractions possible?
I'd have to get too close to be able to,
Now, why would you want to look them in the eye while you do that? That's more messed up.
I'll do the building.
Jakar world? You got that right.
I start the fire on the building.
You target the building. Shoot your blast. Shoot your fire bolt.
You want me to shoot, roll something? Or?
Yep, you got to roll to hit. 24. All right. You fire a shot. It sails right through a window, sets a curtain on fire. The building immediately bursts into flames. A lot of
Let's
the
get the,
dry thatch roof ignites.
let's get the hell out of here.
It's quickly going to turn into a giant bonfire, and the people inside were sleeping and didn't wake up right away. Still didn't wake up. That person woke up. That person didn't. So one of them's up, and he's like, "Fire, fire!" A bunch of people are oblivious and asleep. Still sleeping.
You guys
After
had
a
better
while-
not make sure that Traxxas doesn't learn of this.
Can I
Let's get
also
out of here.
can I also burn down the silo?
Why are we burning down the entire farmstead?
Well, you're kind of far away. Do you have a ranged spell?
Produce flame, which lets me shoot a small fireball at stuff.
It lets you
Wait,
throw a fireball
How-
20 feet.
Yeah. Fireball.
I
How-
have
Here, I have an idea. So how far is it from where we're at, roughly?
You cast it from the maximum distance, so you'd have to look
No,
at
I can
fireball.
only throw it 30 feet.
I have an alchemist
No.
fire.
But how far away is the silo from where we're at?
The party
Okay.
had to get within 120 feet for Grimorn to cast his firebolt.
Right,
So you are 120 feet from the house, and the silo is next to the house.
right.
So same distance.
Okay. Light an arrow on fire
I can do that one too.
for me. All right.
Okay,
and
use
then I
Produce
shoot
flame
and-
while he's doing that. And you can
What are we
light
burning?
your-
I shoot a flaming arrow at the silo.
Yeah, I do a produce flame to catch your arrow on fire.
Isn't this the entire farmstead?
Okay.
Everything but the farm. We're just doing the silo and the farms.
The silo
The
explodes,
farmhouse.
and the house is on fire. So you've done
We have to go.
significant damage to the farm, and the alarm is raised, and many people are trying to rush to put the fire out, and you hear screams from inside.
Everything but the field. Okay.
I hope you
Yeah.
guys are happy with yourselves.
I think it's time for us to leave.
I didn't want to burn the. I didn't want to burn down the farmsteads. I just wanted to burn the silos. That was a good one.
I did not expect Cyrus to do that. I'm curious to do that. I'm not gonna lie. Not full laugh.
It's a sacrifice to the ever living flame.
It is. Hey, the god is gonna be happy tonight.
I leave
Yes.
the scene quietly through the
Yeah.
night.
The first
It's
ever
fine.
defiling cleric. The first ever
I-
defiling cleric.
It's
He's
gonna
not
be
the filer.
fertilizers.
It's I have a feeling if any of like the elemental powers lean towards evil, it's got to be the fire one.
That's not exactly true. Fire can be just as restorative as it can be destructive.
Think
We
of
are
it
Oh,
like
I know. I'm
Phoenix.
just saying if there's one that
Phoenix
leans
Force.
more.
Our team name will be Phoenix Force.
It's actually kind of a something as part of the fire cleric, like part of the description that like burning. The way they look at it is actually more of a. They say that it's
Okay,
kind of
Traxxas, we can
destructive,
always
but
rebuild.
it is a regenerative thing as well, and it helps plants to regrow.
We can always rebuild with Druid magic too.
Yeah, but
we can always use
you
their
can't
blood.
rebuild lost lives.
Yes,
Well,
we can.
Yeah, you can. I'll show
Just
you.
make children.
I'll send you to some website.
Just
Alright.
make children. There you go. Rebuild lost life. Kill 6 people, make 6 more.
So at some point, you're going to have to report back to Verasi Minthur and tell him that you've accomplished your goals.
Huh?
I'm sure he's going to
Did we
find
do that,
out.
right?
I'm sure he's going to find out, but you
Yeah.
need to talk to him to confirm that he's going to get more soldiers in the army.
Did we also set the silo on fire, or
Oh yeah, the silo blew
Yeah.
up. The house is on fire. A bunch of people died in the fire.
We probably don't. Let's get out while the getting's good, and then we can report to Verasi in the morning. So I'm sure he probably doesn't want us showing up covered in soot at 3 a.m. at his house.
Yeah, we definitely want to clean up and everything.
All right. Well, I don't think you got dirty. You were 120 feet away. So.
It was an expression more than.
I
Yeah,
mean,
get
it was
rid
a
of the
dirty,
DNA.
a dirty act, but you came out clean. All right. So it's
But
late
not
at
our
night.
soul.
Did you guys want to rest? Rest for the night.
Yes.
Yes, please.
yes.
All right. So the question is, it's like 11:30. Do you want to continue into the next day, or should we cut it off there?
Please, next day. Next day.
Next thing.
All right.
My character
mean-
goes and
Keep going a little bit
rests.
then.
I could keep going another half hour, but then I really do have to call it a night.
Yeah.
I
have work-
do need
you have work
to
tomorrow,
get to
Psycho?
work tomorrow, so I'm gonna have to call it a night.
Psycho, you have work tomorrow?
I figured I'd give Diamond the option, and he'd probably want to take it. I know Diamond gets pretty
Yeah,
tired.
I have
Well,
to
I'm
work
not
tomorrow.
tired,
as well.
but I'm not tired, but I do have to get up early.
Right.
So.
Like,
Well-
I can't do more than a half hour. I don't know how much we're going to accomplish in a half hour.
We skip to when we tell the Brent build
Time skip.
That's the thing.
Run so
Or
Hey,
for
Chris.
Rancy.
Resi.
Yeah, that's something we can do. So we'll do a little bit of a sequence break. Tomorrow night, at some point after you do other stuff, you manage a meeting with Verasi Minther at the Red Kank Inn, as you've met 2 times before. You're able
Good
to
stuff.
get in contact with the Minther family through a messenger of some kind, and then he'll meet you there that night. So late at night, when there's a bunch of people in the common room of the Red Kank Inn and some bards singing and dancing, he'll meet you in his private room that he likes to rent, where it'll keep the prying eyes at bay, and he'll speak to you there. So what do you say? He's likely going to have a big smile on his face because he's already heard how much damage has been done to his
Mhm.
rival.
We have caused significant damage to your opponent's farm.
No,
stand.
no, no,
No.
no. Shush. We just say it's done. It's done.
It is done.
The deed
is
is
done.
done.
Just simple, plain and simple. It's done.
All
Now,
right.
what will you give us in exchange?
Yeah. Will you uphold your end of the deal, the soldiers and the position for what was it? What was the guy's name?
Earn
Sorry,
frost.
Hand
Hand
Frost. The position for Hand Frost.
Yeah, he already agreed to that. So Henfrost will be taken in. And Handfrost gave you dirt on Senator Turax, right?
No,
It was
Senator
after he got
Yeah,
the
we
position.
get said
Or
there.
Vildine, I mean. Yeah, it was Vildine.
Vildine. Yeah, Vildine. He said he'd give us after he got the position, the new job. He'd give us the dirt on Vildine.
Let's see. Turax was important too, but he had his own thing going on. I think that was the one that was going to be hard to do.
We've never even met Senator Truax yet.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris, before I go, my disappointment is immeasurable, and my day has been ruined.
Chris,
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, you know,
Because of the evil acts that were done?
Chris, just letting you know, I have
mean-
never been more proud.
I mean, I know that my character does not know what has just happened, but I do. So that's just going to sit with me for a very long time.
Well, think of it this way. The fields were not burned. So the living plants were left okay. The ones that had already been harvested were blown up, and the building where the people were doing the harvesting was burned down. So Maybe
as
in,
well as many innocent lives were lost.
some innocent
For you to
lives were
keep it up.
lost, which is an
Okay.
evil act. But at least nature came out for the better.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know
I'm
what?
so proud. I'm so proud of you, Cree.
It's a matter of
Anyway,
surviving and winning. the
I'm
battle.
gonna go to bed here. So good night, everybody.
Okay, good night.
Good
Good
night.
night,
night.
Diamond. See you next
Good
session.
night, Diamond.
Oh, he left really quickly.
I still see it as we have to save the city.
There's gonna be lives lost in war if we don't have soldiers,
Exactly.
Hmm.
and we haven't had much collaboration from any of these.
So-called pillars
Thinking
of the
about back to
community.
animals.
Yeah.
A mechalot?
Oh.
Like, we don't need a mechalot though. 40,000 pounds worth of stuff. Do we have 40,000 pounds worth of water?
Not yet.
No, that's the whole thing is you don't need a mechalot unless you're having a whole freaking caravan or you're having a giant war howdah on the back of it. All you really need is you need 2 tanks and a big wagon, and you can carry all the supplies for your group. Everybody in your group can ride in the wagon, and you can carry literally a ton of water.
These Mikala they're used in war too, as like they armor them and they use them as tank as well. I think.
So-
Be a
Because
kid
if
for
you
6
look-
hours.
If you look at the was it the
How high would my intimidation factor go up if I had a mechalot following me everywhere?
A lot, I guess. I mean, most people would assume it's under control. Otherwise, it would be rampaging. So people might feel
More
yeah.
relatively safe,
terrifying.
unless you threaten
No,
to trample
you-
them with it. But that's
Exactly,
probably a
'cause it's
crime.
under somebody's control.
It's for intimidation. I'm not actually gonna do it unless they make me.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. So we could have a covered wagon that is able to carry 2.5 tons or 2,500 pounds, so 1.25 tons.
What animal are you talking about again? Sorry.
So if we had an enclosed wagon, it could carry 2,500 pounds. So we could have 1,000 pounds of water. 1,000 pounds of water is roughly, hold on, it's 8 pounds per gallon. That's 125 gallons of water. That's enough for our whole party for well over a week. And all we would require is 2 tanks to pull it.
We can refill it. We can find some wells or.
Yeah, I'm gonna say.
Oh yeah, with over a week's worth of water for the whole group. I mean, there's gonna be wells or
An oasis somewhere.
oases or
Yeah, I'm
town
gonna.
where that can be refilled. So
I'm gonna say.
You're gonna what?
I was gonna say I'm gonna save the mechalot for mid game because a thought just occurred to me. How much food and water would it consume per day?
It depends. I guess the like animals quite often they get a lot of their like water from food.
To feed three elephants. That's how much it would take to feed this thing per day.
A lot.
3 elephants worth of food per day, or it starves to death.
Yeah, it's almost part of a caravan. You know, it's like you need.
it really is.
You
Now,
can't
let's
just
see.
have one animal. It's like you have one animal and support animals.
He
It
needs
really isn't like
16 gallons of water on a hot day.
Let's see. 2 trained tanks to pull the wagon would be 250 ceramic, and the actual wagon itself would be another 25. So it'd be 275 ceramic for transportation.
Is that Enix?
No, can't.
Enix. I was looking at that, but I don't know
Oh,
what
the
it does.
tank.
Yeah, the kanks. The kanks are the draft. Kanks are like oxen.
Yeah, yeah.
What about-
They're
what about-
slow,
like a
but
mule
they're
for
strong.
us,
Yeah, they're like a mule for us. But they also provide us food, which means that as long as we have kanks with us, we don't have to worry about rations. So that saves us having to buy
Okay.
rations.
Enix are like just big crocodiles.
Yeah, Enix are like big crocodiles. Erdlu are like take the position like horses.
I was thinking,
So-
I'm just trying to get like an animal companion to help during combat that I can also ride.
So what does Veracis tells us? Ninja.
You know, what's the end game here with the Moranci?
Varasi
Moranci.
Minthur is quite pleased. He says he's going to report to his father that you've done very well and that he should field the full amount of soldiers that he had promised. So that puts the number all the way up to 100 now. It was 50 before.
I'm good. And what does Handfoss give us in terms of dirt on Vildine?
I haven't figured that out yet, but I do have another thing
All right.
figured out. So the next day, there's one of the council meetings, and even though the one yesterday was boring, you should really go to this one because it's kind of important.
Is there any flying animals I can
All
buy?
right. No. All right, so let's go to the council meeting.
So, at the council meeting, listening to the Drono speakers, you have no idea what could possibly be considered urgent. Finally, Tithian requests a progress report on the army. Names and numbers are read off, noting each contribution. Senator Tarak says none. The clerk calls out. A hush falls over the assembly. Where are your troops, Senator Tarax? Tithian demands, scowling from his high seat. Eyes shift to a sturdy ancient who rises from his first row seat. Before I send my men, the senator clearly says, there are questions about Calic's death that must be answered. The Veiled Alliance was involved, and these criminals must be brought to justice. There must be an investigation. There's an uproar as many voices shout approval. The council recesses as Tithian consults with his advisors, which includes Agus, Sadira, Rikus, and others. And they're going to bring you in on it as well. When the council reconvenes, you and your party are presented as Tithian's choice for special investigators. Tithian will cut off any debate and force a vote approving his choice, and all the councilors will agree to it. So you are now detectives, charged with investigating.
I like this. That's a clap. Yeah. Ooh, I like this.
However, Sol, you're pulled aside by Sadira and Milana, and they're going to tell you that the Veiled Alliance can in no way be held accountable for anything. We need to find a way to shut this investigation down without causing an uproar. It's very important that this investigation be wrapped up and forgotten as quickly as possible without the Veiled Alliance being blamed for it. She's going to tell you that this is like the most important mission that has come up yet, and she's relying on you to do something about it.
So you're telling me that I have to sabotage the investigation?
Do what you got to do, but if the Veiled Alliance goes down for this, you're going to lose your ally, and it will harm the city in the long run, because the Veiled Alliance helped in a big way to overthrow Calic, and they're holding this shit together. So if they go down, it's really going to hurt your efforts.
They're investigating why he hasn't dispatched any soldiers, right?
So think of it this way. The Veiled Alliance are arcane magic users, and the vast majority of people hate arcane magic users and think that they are defilers that will destroy the world. So it is very much a witch trial that you are being tasked with. They want you to find and burn the witch, while the witches that you work for are saying, don't find anything. So
Wait, so what are we exactly investigating?
the Veiled Alliance. The Senator Turex hates the Veiled Alliance, and he wants them brought to task for even existing. So
I guess he would have rather been eaten by a dragon instead.
you need to find somebody to take the blame, falsify evidence, do what you got to do. She'll tell you. You just need to come up with some way to bury this whole investigation
Okay.
without
Wait.
causing harm to the Veiled Alliance. So
I need So specifically, we are getting investigated just cause.
No. So Senator Turex demands that the Veiled Alliance be investigated.
And what is he looking for?
What is he looking for? Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, like, it's like, what is his accusation, and what like to have an investigation started, he has to have a cause.
They are defilers. He wants
reason.
them hunted down and killed.
So he
So
wants
we
us to
need
prove
to-
that they are defilers.
Yes.
We need to frame someone. Wait, wait, that. What? How? What?
You need to sink the investigation or find a scapegoat.
How would I find a scapegoat? I just find a wizard that's frame some guy that's not part of the Velvet Alliance for being a defiler.
Maybe.
Maybe Tarax is one.
It's a tough job. But you're in charge of the
This-
investigation, so you have leverage.
What can
We
I
see
gain?
that the
Wait, we're in
Urkai
charge.
spy was the defiler all along, and we kill him.
Wait, we're in charge of the investigation.
He's
Hey.
still alive. He's still being interrogated, so you could
Yes.
do that.
So, yes, the king put us in charge of this. We are the king's special investigators.
A
It is
crowd
our
of people
job.
saw him do magic.
This is very, very important. I get it.
He did a
I-
21-foot magic acrobatic leap in the middle of a crowded plaza. So you probably could
Yeah.
lie and say that's what happened.
Yeah, I say we pin it all on the Urkite spy that
All
everyone
on the
knows
Urkite
is already a wizard.
I tell them I already have something in mind. But what will I gain from helping you?
Well, Senator Turex is going to go. Senator Turex is going to contribute to the war effort. If we satisfy him that we found the magic users responsible for this, then we can go and he will be satisfied. We just can't give him the actual wizards that are on our side.
Right.
So your idea, I think, is right on point because we have somebody who's used magic publicly and is from Uruk, who's coincidentally attacking us right now.
Yeah, Param, yeah, for sure.
So we just go and put Param up as somebody who helped assassinate the previous
Yeah, we could say
sorcerer
that
king.
Yurik was part of wanting to take. What was the name of the bad guy?
Okay,
How?
so
His flank?
Sadira talked to
Cali.
Sol in private, so it's up to Sol to tell the party
Oh,
any of
yeah.
that if he wants to.
True.
Just make sure the Velvet Lion doesn't get hurt by this. Okay.
So you were told all that in secret, Sol. I don't know how much you want to tell to the party. That's your call.
I asked to talk to Titian for a second, if he doesn't mind.
All right. After the council meeting, you can talk to Tithian. What do you say?
Say, we've been given the authority, I guess, to investigate the situations.
Yeah, by him.
And I was wondering, what kind of power do we have to be able to seek information?
Well, the power to arrest. You just go to the Templars and tell them you found a Veiled Alliance member and arrest them. That should get Senator
Wait.
Turex to come around.
But
We need a
anyone,
Pacific Veiled Alliance member?
anyone could close the doors to us to get some information. Like, do we
So-
have any?
Tithian's the leader of the Templars, and he doesn't necessarily have much love for the Veiled Alliance. So if you can find a defiler and present the defiler as like a scapegoat, that would accomplish his goals. Senator Turex would be pleased, and he would provide his troops into the army, and that's what Tithian wants.
And where does this investigation stop? What are their limits? Because if we start finding that, for example,
The limit is when Senator Turex is convinced to field troops. That's the goal. So
and if
But if
Tarax had anything to do with all this.
you need
But I
to
don't think the
investigate
mem-
until he's pleased. That's the goal.
But
Yeah, so
I don't remember we should turn this to be a person from the Velvet Alliance. Just saying.
doesn't matter. There's some influence. Where's this spear coming from? Like, who was involved in all this? But also, it's like, Tarax might just be somebody that we don't want to be part of the circle here.
What we need is soldiers.
Senator Turex, just like Vildine and Minther, is one of the more powerful nobles in town, and he can field a lot of soldiers.
Okay.
So when he says he's providing none, that's hurting the army a lot. That's like a third of your troops.
So we gotta please him, or
Yeah. So
Yeah,
this
so let's
is
start.
a tricky diplomatic situation. You need to please Torax, otherwise you don't get those 100 soldiers. But you also don't want to upset the Veiled Alliance, because if the Veiled Alliance goes down, you lose a powerful ally with magic, and you would no longer have access to detect magic spells, identify spells, and magic items that they might provide.
Yeah, I think we should use the spy as a scapegoat.
Why should
if
we use the
use
spies
this-
as space?
What if we use
What are you
this-
telling?
What if we use some of these powers of investigating to discover certain things? We don't have to give an answer to them immediately.
Yes, this is
Because
like
it's
some
a-
in character RP, because Brents is like, well, what do you mean? Why should we sabotage the investigation?
Yeah. So why should we sabotage the investigation? I mean, I know we're friends with with this Veiled Alliance, but I mean, you know, how do we know they didn't do it?
Well, what do we like? The other question is that, are we completely against what they've done? Like, even if they've used some of their magical power,
Also, we don't even know what they're being accused of. This guy's
Exactly.
this guy's just leading a witch hunt.
They are
So
accused
what-
of being wizards. Wizards
Torax-
destroy the world.
and Terex, what does he have to gain in all this? Maybe you just have a grudge against them, and you
They're
want to
accused of being wizards. That they're being accused of.
Turax
Yes.
is very old, and he despises all wizards. All wizards with a passion. He hates them and wants them to be destroyed.
I mean, we just have to start rounding up some wizards, and there you go. We please this guy, and we get the soldiers we need.
Yes, but without the Veiled Alliance, the city would be very, very hurt. They're
The
hoping
Veiled
this whole-
Alliance has been very helpful to the group, specifically to Soul, providing food, water, and assistance with spells.
I
They're
mean,
holding this whole city
fair
together.
enough.
They're
They did help us identify those magic items.
they are very useful allies. It would be a shame to lose them.
Maybe we can find a way to
Well-
please this guy and the Veiled Alliance.
That's
Well, we did
the
just
goal.
catch a wizard.
The Veil Alliance is what allowed us to escape from that debt. I feel like I might hold them a little bit of a
But what I don't get is how turning into wizard is going to prove. That would just like he's not a member of the Veiled Alliance. I don't think that would satisfy him. That we just this guy's a wizard.
No, but he's an Urukite spy. We just got to finesse
Say that
things a
he
little
was
bit.
Maybe
Part
part
of-
the Veiled Alliance.
No, not even part of the Veiled Alliance.
Not even
just
part of the
part of
Veiled
the.
Alliance.
No,
We don't
can
want
say
Just
that
part-
We don't
Eric
want
is in the
to.
middle of this.
We can just go and clearly he is working as a spy for Uruk, who's attacked immediately after the Calic died. So clearly, this spy had something to do with the assassination of Calic.
But if I
Clearly.
remember correctly, he didn't say anything about. Wait, no, what was I about to say? I forgot. He didn't say anything about like what. Fuck! I forgot. I had it in my mind.
But
His whole justification for investigating the Veiled Alliance is because he's convinced they had something to do with assassinating Calic. We offer an alternative explanation that does not point towards the Veiled Alliance, that points towards Uruk, who's already attacking us.
So the requirement here, Turax wants you to produce evidence to support a claim of someone being a magic user, an arcane caster. So you need to have evidence to support the claim, and
He's
you need
looking
to
for
have
a
a person to
sacrifice.
accuse. So if you accuse
Right.
Param, and you have the evidence that he was seen in a crowded plaza doing magic, that might be enough right there.
Right. And we have that. We just got to round up some witnesses from the. I mean, he jumped 20-something feet midair
21 feet.
over a
He's-
crowd.
he's still detained, and we still can get him to. I
Yeah.
get to him and ask questions. Like the guards will.
We
let
can
us go
produce
in.
them.
Like,
Wait, is
questions.
jump movement and normal movement two different things? Like you can
Yes.
jump.
I mean, it ends up costing you movement, but like your height, you can jump is different.
And we all
think-
saw
think
him
about
turn
it, it's
invisible. which is
We're
clearly
witnesses.
arcane
He's
magic.
witnesses. Yeah, we have escape.
I mean,
Yeah,
turning invisible is it's not, it's purely arcane magic
He-
turning invisible like what he did. It's not druidic magic. It's certainly not clerical magic.
It's probably
Yeah.
psionic powers, but
let's go along with that plan.
His specific
Plan.
words were, "There are questions about Calic's death that must be answered. The Veiled Alliance was involved, and these crimes must be brought to justice. There must be an investigation." So he's looking for somebody to take the fall for destroying Calic and resulting in the Week of Chaos that resulted in the Templars being destroyed and the Iron Mines being lost and all sorts of chaos.
How can we get
I
the
say
spy
we have.
to admit that he did do it?
Why does he have to admit to it? He's
They're just
clearly a
gonna believe
spy. We
us.
can't.
Hey,
No, we have a guy who is a spy from Uruk. We caught him. He was wanted. Then we round up a bunch of the witnesses from the from the plaza to go and testify that they saw him cast a spell and jump 21 feet across
there's
the
a
plaza.
lot of witnesses of that.
There's a lot of witnesses of that. The fact that he's going to deny it doesn't mean shit because he's a spy. Of course he's going to deny it. His word is mud.
And also, we could add to the fact that when we captured him, he used invisibility.
Exactly.
That's another pretty powerful spell.
Arcane spell.
yes.
He didn't make plants grow. He didn't go
He did
and
try to sabotage.
heal
or-
anybody. He went and he cast invisibility. I mean, if that's not arcane magic, I don't know what is. That's some weird voodoo type of nonsense. That did not come from nature.
Yeah, we got something there at least. That's an option.
Yeah,
I think we should
yeah.
still interrogate him and find out like what he was
Our
planning on
information.
doing.
Yeah.
And now we have a reason to investigate him. Private investigation. Move out the way. Why are you investigating him? It's confidential.
But we
So I
do
say,
have
well,
access.
So before we call it a night for the players, not in game, but before we call it a night, I think what we should do. This is just my 2 cents. Is we should go, and while we're interrogating the spy, we should have the Templars round up as many of the witnesses from previous day as they can to testify against him about what they saw.
Mhm.
This is from the market.
Because that's something that's pretty low level enough in terms of detail that I think the Templars, as we can probably have that done, off camera, so to speak, if Ninja's okay with that.
Ninja.
Sorry, I wasn't listening. I was reading something. Say again?
I was saying, do you need us to personally round up these witnesses, or could we, while we interview the spy, could we go and just task the Templars to round up sufficient witnesses for the hearing the next day?
Especially witnesses that are very angry about the magic.
Wait,
As an investigator, you do have the authority to ask the Templars to do things for you like that. So you could have them
Wait,
go find
actually,
witnesses.
wasn't he killed by the hardwood spear?
Yeah, well, not technically. The Heartwood spear pierced his body and did critical damage to him, but it actually required a few more hits because he was transforming into a dragon and regenerating, and so they had to hunt him down into the heart of the ziggurat and kill him with a couple more stabs, and that finally dropped him.
And clearly somebody had to show these people the back ways into the ziggurat. And a spy from Uruk is perfectly positioned to give exactly that sort of information to the people that assassinated Calic.
We should ask him how long he's been in town. That'd be important to know.
It doesn't matter. Whatever it is, we figure out what makes the story work. Because he's a liar. He's not going to tell the truth at the hearing.
Do any
Hang on.
what would be what?
Morg, While you're at the
Yes.
council meeting, Verasi of Minther approaches you inconspicuously from a side chamber and goes, "Psst, hey."
I go over?
Hey.
You're doing the
I
investigation.
stealth.
It would be beneficial for all of us if you would make sure your investigation doesn't look too closely into any of my own dealings. You know, as a sign of good faith, take this, just so you know who your friends are. And he hands you this prayer bead of cold bane.
Oh,
Are we
Wait,
police?
Verasi is part of the. Isn't he part of the? He's not part of the Veiled Alliance, is he?
You don't know, but he said, make sure none of my people are chosen as like the one that goes down for this. He wants you to make sure that this doesn't affect his business at all, and he's bribed you with this.
I feel like Ninja's going to
Okay.
put easy
With
solutions in front of our. I feel like Ninja's going to put easy solutions in front of our face that's going to anger one of these two parties.
I will pocket this as. I'm not gonna say so, but as like potential evidence. But yeah, I will verbally agree that. Yeah, I'll make sure that doesn't happen.
Hmm. So while he didn't say anything, he is kind of hinting that maybe somebody in his employ is a magic user.
And we're going to meet him.
But
Kind of surprised that he would like bribe something that didn't seem like. I was like, why are you even like bribing me?
Wait,
for
yeah,
this?
that,
But,
that makes sense. He's kind of
okay.
just giving himself up to the investigators. We could just arrest him right now.
It's like now you're hinting me that something's not all right. Get that as so transparent. Once this item is attuned
all
to,
right.
you can
I gotta
use
call it
it.
a night, guys.
All right.
All right, see you, Psycho Frog.
wait
Have
a
a
minute.
night night.
Wait a minute.
Have a
One,
nice night.
one more thing. Krius,
Mhm.
Grimorn is met by the counselor of the craftsmen. He's the main person that attends these meetings and speaks for the craftsmen in the city. And he's going to approach you, and he's going to say, I hear you're doing the investigating. I'll tell you, I've spoken with every craftsman. I've known them all for years. Every craftsman in the city has been vetted personally by me and had nothing to do with the Veiled Alliance. None of them is a wizard. I've never seen them use magic, and I believe wholeheartedly that you should not bother with the craftsmen. I can vouch for them. Just so we understand each other here. And he hands you a gold coin.
I can get a bribe item.
A gold coin.
He hands you a gold
Wait.
coin, and he says, just remember, the craftsmen are good people.
What if you give me a list of all the craftsmen? So that way I make sure that I don't investigate any of them.
Yeah. Everybody knows who the craftsmen are. They run the shops. It is
Yeah, but-
apparent.
Quick question: How they got a bribe item? What item did I get? I haven't been bribed.
Well, the difference here is that the craftsmen are blue collar, whereas Verasi of Minther is a rich, evil man.
I'll consider it. I've been called a defiler in the past. Well, I'm not.
Very. Thank you.
So this is a diplomacy thing. All of the counselors are looking out for themselves and their faction, trying to make sure that the investigation goes well for them and potentially bad for other people that they have rivalries with.
Is there anyone who didn't bribe us?
Well, I don't know. We're done for tonight, but maybe other counselors will try to bribe somebody throughout the day when we start playing again. Verasi did it at the meeting, and the craftsman did it shortly after the meeting, and maybe throughout the day, other people will approach you. Who knows?
The Veiled Alliance bribed me with just the bribe.
Well, the Veiled Alliance, the bribe there is alliance. Like you are considered a member of the guild, and you can ask them for things, and they're likely to help you because they like you.
Oh, okay.
So even though it's not like a reward, it's not like here's 500 gold. It's got a lot more value than that because they are a friend that you can rely on.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna save it.
Guys.
Thanks everybody out there in Twitch land. We're gonna end the stream there. Have a good one.
Can I buy an animal before the stream ends?
Yeah, if you got the money, go ahead. Buy it off the list. That's fine.
It's about an Enix. What's the name of that animal again?
All right.
You want to get the lizard?
Good night, guys.
Inix, INIX.
Yes,
Psycho Frog.
Enix.
What's that
Enix. Yes, the is it 3 tons or 2? Let me see.